Get it? I don't know the number. Flexing on these niggas, every bone muscle. Steady taking shots, never hurt a number. Even then, y'all don't worry nothing. And I look at the shout out to my niggas with the game plan. And shout out to my niggas with the skate plan. 20 bands, rain dance. The rain checking, we make plans. Pockets loaded, rockin' loaded, king, let's rock and roll this. Time to go, rocks knocking, juice smoking, barrels knocking loaded. Diamonds glow with choppers on and on them. You think I'm jumping out the window, I got them open. Round and round the corner, round them up, knocking over. Sounds like you can stop smoking when it's time to throw a shade. G.O. I'm here for love, create. This thing come forward. So, the back, the loose, the hard, yeah, listen, the X, I beat, the bars, the snakes, the rats, the cats, the dogs, the games, the trap, protect your heart, yeah, waiting in line, return, refine, the new design, it's time to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine, I hustle, I flex, the world is mine, so please, believe, allow, degrees, these niggas, disease, don't speak, we squeeze, I make the devil go weak, the knees, you hate, you lame, you lost, I came, I saw, I came, I saw, I praise the Lord, I pray the Lord, I took this time to take some more, it pains, it pains, it pours.
Welcome to the Rick T Podcast, the fucking coolest podcast on the planet. I'm your host, Eric Holmes, with him or with your co-host, Jello Rex Road and Tony Cave. How you boys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm good, man. Just got done watching that game, bro. Crazy ass ending.
Yep.
Crazy ass ending, bro.
It's magic.
First of all, I want to go ahead and let you boys go ahead and tell you boys Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you boys had a great Christmas. 2020 is winding down to an end. That's the theme of this podcast, the end of 2020. You know what I'm saying? We about to get it popping today. Get it fucking rolling. Shit. First things first on tonight's podcast, man. There was a Thursday night game, or no, it was Friday. Sorry, it was the Christmas game. Vikings at the Saints, man. I think all three of us had the Saints, if I'm correct, right?
Yep.
All three of us definitely had the Saints. But we'll come to you first on this one, Tony. The Vikings ended up losing to the Saints, 33-52. How you feeling on this one?
Don't want to say too much about it because you're going to be hearing about this a little bit more later on. But Alvin Kamara is now tied for the GOAT. Does anybody know the name of the dude that actually held the record before him?
I don't, honestly.
So there's two, sir. Ernie Nevers did it in 29, and then I believe Gale Sayers did it in 68, 69, something like that.
Fucking 29, bro. Almost 100 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first person to do it.
Dad, what the fuck, bro? It was ridiculous, though. Jello, we'll swing it over to you, man. Vikings 33 at Saints 52. How you feeling on that one?
I mean, this game kind of went opposite for the Saints offense than I thought it would. I mean, with that depleted backfield of the Vikings, I thought they were going to throw it all game, and obviously that didn't happen. And I mean, Kamara just came out here and killed it. He should have had 7 when they ran Taysom on that last one. He should have had 7. So I mean, I'm a little salty about that, but I mean, just a killer game. I mean, Kamara's been Kamara at this point. We haven't. I mean, last year was a rough year for him, and now he's just coming out. I'm just gonna throw this one out here. Zeke Elliott has had 5 touchdowns all year. Kamara had 6 from 4:30 to 7:30 on that.
Let's
In
just,
that game. So,
you can say that all you want, just like the rest of those people will, but Zeke still has more rushing yards than him and has better overall stats than him through his career. Like I told Jalen said the same thing to me earlier, and this is exactly what I said to Jay. I said, there's running backs that specialize in certain things, in my opinion. I think Christian McCaffrey specializes in catching the ball. I think Ezekiel Elliott specializes in running the ball, along with Derrick Henry. And I think Alvin Kamara is one of the backs that can overall do it all. You know what I'm saying? I think he can do everything. Whether it's running the ball, catching the ball, blocking, I think he's an overall good back. And I'm not saying he's better than any of these backs. I'm saying I just think backs specialize in things. I think backs, they pick certain things to work on more than others. And I don't think Alvin Kamara does that at all. You know what I mean? I think Alvin Kamara is a beast. I think he works on every aspect of his game. And it's showing. It's showing. He's easily a top 5 back in the NFL. And has been since his rookie year. So I don't know, man. Vikings 33, Saints 52. It was a well-deserved win. The Saints came out and punched them in the mouth. In my opinion, they are the best team in the NFC. And I know there's a lot of teams that can compare with them, like the Packers, just a bunch of teams that are up there, the Buccaneers. But the Saints, I think the Buccaneers can compete with them.
No.
Maybe not in the regular season, but the way they showed today, I definitely think so. But we'll get to that in a second, motherfuckers. But I definitely think the Saints are the best team in the NFC, in my opinion, to be real.
Before we move on to the next one, I see Jay finally popped in chat. Jay, I gotta talk to you real quick about something not football related, okay? So a little backstory. I have some grandparents in California, right? And they thought it would be funny to send me a Lakers hoodie. Now, my Nuggets started the season off 0-2. If they go 0-3, I will wear this hoodie next week on the podcast just for you, because you're the only person I know that likes the Lakers. So if they go 0-3 to start the season, I'll be wearing this motherfucker next week on Saturday.
Couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. No fucking sir. There's no way that could be me. But to be real, let's move on. We'll move on to the Saturday games. We'll start off with this morning's game, and it was an ass whooping. Jello, we'll go ahead and swing it your way first. We dead ass had the Buccaneers beat the Lions 47-7 today. How are you feeling on that one?
I mean, it's not surprising by any means. I mean, the Lions have the worst and most depleted defense in the league. No Matt Stafford today. So it all came down to a couple backups who just couldn't keep up with it. So I'm not surprised. I mean, the Bucs defense did a whole lot this game too. Just from end to end from in that field, just they couldn't get a run game. They couldn't get the passing game down. They couldn't get anything down. They couldn't get offensive line to block for him. So, and Brady came out and played. It's the reason why he didn't play the whole second half at that point. And Blaine Gabbert didn't do too bad as well. So it's probably the best game we've seen from Brady all year. But against the Lions, I mean, I wouldn't count that in his favor in comparison to who he might play later down the line. So still, fuck Tom Brady, but I gave it to him on this game. So, and Blaine Gabbert actually came out and didn't lose them the game, so we'll take it.
Yeah, it was definitely fucking. It was a one-sided game the whole way. Tony, swinging it to you, man. Buccaneers 47 at Lions 7. What do you got to say on this one?
This was an ass whooping, but again, it was against the Lions, so you cannot compare them to the Saints. I don't ever want to hear that come out of your mouth again. This came against the Lions. The fucking Lions. Like, that is just not even impressive in my book. They should beat them by 40 with the roster that they have.
Okay. Well, I see you had a bold opinion on that. Buccaneers 47, Lions 7. Tony, one thing I'm going to say to you is you don't go against Tom fucking Brady. And
Fuck Tom Brady.
Look, and that's what you and Jello have been saying for weeks, and I don't believe it. I can't believe it. Yes, he has off weeks, but Tom Brady is Tom Brady regardless. You do not bet against that man, especially when he's playing like this. He just clinched a playoff spot. This is the first time since 2007 that the Buccaneers are going to playoffs. How do you think these people feel about Tom Brady in Tampa right now? You think they're feeling negative about him? Honestly, I'm asking you honestly.
Mid-season, yes.
But it's not midseason anymore. It's they just clinched the playoff spot. If you guys, it's the same thing with you guys and Peyton Manning. To be real,
Okay, no. I don't want to hear it because you were clowning Tom Brady episode like 7 or 8.
man,
Clowning
you gotta
Tom
have to
Brady.
show me the clip, bro.
I will go through every podcast just to play that clip next Saturday.
You want to show me the damn clip, cuz.
I'm not even going to show you. I'm just going to send it to you. You put it up. Don't watch it before.
All right, man. Whatever you say, Tony. We're going to get into this next game, man. So, Tony, we'll swing it your way first on this one. 49ers 20 at Cardinals 12. Kyler Murray then let me down again. How you feeling on this one?
Man, the 1 week I don't roll with the Niners. I've been saying that they're a sleeper team. I went with Kyler Murray because I wanted to see you get a win in fantasy because obviously I'm not fucking getting any wins. So, I don't know, man. The fucking Niners just don't roll with me either way.
Yeah, no, I feel it, man. I don't. So I don't know. I'll let Jello get into this first. 49ers 20 at Cardinals 12. How you feeling on this?
I mean, this is one of those games. I mean, Cardinals just are not up for the challenge at this point. They came out and got beat by C.J. Beathard, who now has Josh Rosen backing him up at that point. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just they're not doing it. I mean, they have good plays throughout the game, but they are not solid. And there was a lot of incomplete and drop passes by the Cardinals this game. So they had every chance to win, and they just couldn't do it. So, I mean, they're going to get brought up later for sure, especially after this game. But, I mean, the amount of fire they brought throughout the year, now it's just all fizzled out, and they just keep losing. So it's kind of what's happening to the Steelers at this point. They think they are going to get whatever they want, and teams are just coming out here beating them, especially teams who have nothing to lose. They're not going to do anything anyway. So, and they still came out and won. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Chat alert. Chat alert.
Chat alert. AZ is an imposter team, is what Jalen's saying. I honestly couldn't agree more. Them dudes have been letting me down a lot. They're a little skeptical. Arizona 12, 49ers 20. Dallas just came out here and put a real nice smacking on the 49ers last week, and it must have woke them up. It must have woke them up because they came out here against Arizona and locked Kyler Murray down. So my thing is like, and I get there's a lot of different aspects to this question that I'm about to ask you, but what's the big difference between Andy Dalton and Kyler Murray besides the run game?
I mean, between Andy Dalton and Murray, there's a lot. I mean,
Are you
Dalton
looking for
had
a
good
positive
years.
or a negative note?
I'm looking to see why they couldn't stop Andy Dalton, but they could stop Kyler Murray. And a lot of people would pick Kyler Murray over Andy Dalton any day, including me. So I'm trying to figure out what is the big difference between them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about Andy Dalton that Kyler Murray doesn't have besides
Jello.
his legs?
Jello, do you want to go first?
Yeah, here, I'll go first real quick. I don't think in that Cowboys game it really came down to Dalton. It came down to Pollard actually getting in the end zone, where the run game for the Cardinals this week also didn't. I mean, Edmonds got hurt. Kenya Drake didn't do his thing. I mean, Pollard only had the 69 yards, but those 2 touchdowns is what made a difference. Because, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's somewhat similar. And the variant there is the receivers made Dalton look better, where the receivers made Murray look worse this week. A lot of drop passes, a lot of good throws that should have been caught and weren't at that point. So it's something where the Cowboys didn't do it for the first game, like almost all year out since Dak's been injured, I should say, where the receivers were making the catches they need to. Gallup had the over the shoulder into the end zone, stuff like that, which is something we haven't seen so far this year. A lot of drops from the Cowboys as well. So I think that's where they picked it up. They didn't have those mistakes, which led them to be able to beat them, where the Cardinals just mistake after mistake after mistake, and look what happened to cost them the game. So
I agree with that. Tony, what do you got to say on that? What's the difference? What's the big difference to you between Kyler Murray and Andy Dalton?
First of all, height. I mean,
They were blocking Kyler Murray's passes all fucking night.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you have bigger defensive lines on different teams. You know, some teams go with a more agile defensive line, shorter, quicker. Some teams go with a lot of arm length. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, height is major. And like you said, they were blocking his passes left and right. I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like this season, Kyler Murray has been kind of one-dimensional.
Very.
He's not doing everything that he's capable of doing. He's got a good arm. He's got pretty good accuracy, you know?
And he's definitely got speed.
Well, yeah, we all know that. But, like, I don't know. I think last season Kyler Murray is better than this one.
I completely agree. Young Kyler Murray. I'm telling you, people are starting to figure people out. It's getting easier to figure guys out in the NFL, and that's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Maybe it's running quarterbacks. Maybe that's why a lot of scouters are like, man, running quarterbacks aren't going to be the thing. And then Lamar Jackson and running quarterbacks come in, do a good thing for 1 or 2 years, and then they get figured out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Or hurt. You know what I mean? It could be either or, but I don't know, man. It's a good conception, man. But we'll move on to this next one. I don't know. I think we all had the Cardinals, didn't we? We all had the Cardinals in that one, right?
Yep.
I believe so.
Shouldn't
I
have. The 1 week I don't take the Niners.
So in this next one, Dolphins 26, Raiders 25. This game had just ended. Justin, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Dad, if you're watching, congratulations. But man, it was a great game. Tony, we'll go to you first on this one. Dolphins 26, Raiders 25. How you feeling on this one?
Okay. So for anybody that doesn't know yet, I placed a parlay for the Dolphins to win and the over-under on the game to be under 50. 50 or under, right? They scored 51 points in this game. And it really, really kind of ticked me off. But I'm not that mad. I have another parlay coming up tomorrow. We're going to see if we can hit on that. To be honest with you, this was a really, really fun game to watch. One, Nelson Aguilar. Wow. That man, in 5 seasons with the Eagles, had 100 yards games 3 times in 5 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
This season alone with the Raiders, he has 3 games already with the Raiders. So I think they need to – I don't know what his contract situation is. Jello, if you know, please blurt it out. But
I'm pretty sure he's on a 1-year deal. I'm not even going to lie.
I don't know if it's a minimum or not coming off the Eagles, but I don't think it was much, maybe $5-6 million at max.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, on a 1. He's got to be on a 1.
Give that man 2 to 3 year contract. Give that man 2 to 3 year contract. He is a key player for the Raiders. Next, the Raiders shut down Ahmed, and then Gaskin came in out of nowhere and started playing absolutely amazing. And then towards the end of the game, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, there was a 10-yard little curl route that Gaskin caught. He made one defender miss, got some good blocks, and took off for 40-something yards. Then it comes down to the Raiders with the ball. The Raiders throw it super deep, right? Super deep to Nelson Aguilar. There's a pass interference call that I don't think should have been pass interference. Maybe a face mask. Definitely not pass interference. But they get a 47-yard penalty on that. Then the Raiders go on to kick a field goal, right? And because earlier in the game, the Raiders kicker missed a PAT, the Dolphins came down. Fitzmagic gets face masked. He throws the ball like this with his neck all crooked. Somebody catches it. I think it was number 88. I don't know who it is. Jello, do you know who it is?
Justin will. He's in the chat.
For Miami?
Oh, for Miami? 88. That's Gadetsky or whatever the hell his name is.
Jasicki.
Jasicki. Remember we were talking about him before the game, Tony.
Yeah, okay.
He's a bad motherfucker for real, bro.
So he caught that, and then you had 15 yards because Fitzmagic almost got his neck torn off. And then they just go down and kick a field goal to win the game. I mean, it all came down to the Raiders kicker missing a PAT. The Dolphins won by 1. This game was nuts to watch. I'm sorry for the huge long summary, but this game was so fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching this, even though I lost some money on it, but whatever.
No, you're all good, man. I like that a lot. Jello, gonna swing it over to you. Actually, before I swing it over to you, let me read chat real quick. So I'm gonna pop him back up real quick. Justin said, "What a game!" Aguilar was eaten. Nelson is also on a 1-year deal. Justin's a Raiders fan, so he will know. He said our defense folded, and he said
Very true.
Gasecki. My dad is also in the chat, who is a Dolphins fan, so it's team against team. He said, "Hell yeah, fins up." And that's just what it is. Jalen also said, "Dolphins are no joke this year, but they will not make it past the first round." So, Jello, Dolphins 26, Raiders 25. It was a great game. How are you feeling on this one?
I mean, it was a good game, and we're seeing something from the Dolphins we haven't seen from any team really ever at this point, and that's running a 2-quarterback system. One starts to slow it down, the other one comes in and picks it up on both ends at that point, and it is insane. I mean, they didn't think Tua was doing enough. Fitzmagic comes in, look what happens at this point. And a lot of great players with those backs there too. They're running so many different backs. Having Gaskin back from injury is huge. Because, I mean, that wasn't like a wide open run there at the end. He was breaking tackles and getting around it, running end to end at that point, doing what he needs to do to get it. But, I mean, the kickers, that is the literal kicker this year, is kickers are losing games for people at that point. I mean, we got kickers out on the COVID list, bringing in random kickers you never heard of before. We got tons of kickers missing field goals at that point. Just today, I forget which kicker it was. He had the league in 31 in a row inside the 50, and he missed. So it's every single kicker out there is missing kicks left and right, and especially PATs. Shit's insane at that point. I mean, they're not even making 22-yarders now, so that's really the defining moment. But I give it to the Dolphins. Once again, I think it was just the team that wanted it more. They fought for it. They got what they wanted. Raiders have been losing, and it's just that culture it's turning into for the rest of the year. So, I mean, crazy game, though. Couldn't have been happier with how the game went overall.
I agree with that. Dolphins 26, Raiders 25. One thing I do want to say before I even get into it is I was actually very surprised that they were playing Derek Carr. I took the Raiders under the exception that Marcus Mariota was going to play again. He brings a different energy to that team. He brings a different offense to that team. He can use his legs a little bit more than Derek Carr can. But I like Derek Carr. I have nothing against Derek Carr. He came out there, played through his injury, and balled out, frankly. I like the way he runs with that offense. I really can't see him doing that anywhere else but with the Raiders, John Gruden, Darren Waller. That team just fits good this year. I wish they didn't get eliminated from playoffs. I'm not even going to lie. I seen them at the beginning of this year and middle of this year as a playoff contender. But now they're mathematically eliminated. Jalen said Carr's ass. I don't agree, Jay. But I like the Raiders a lot. I think they played well tonight, but everyone knows the Dolphins are a team this year. They are not going to come out and lay down like they have in previous years. Was it Tua that played the whole game? I seen Fitzmagic in there. What the fuck happened?
So Tua started the game, and then he started slacking a little bit there. I forget exactly when he got put in. So then Fitzmagic came in and did what he did. So
one thing I will say is if I was the coach, I personally wouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'd leave one quarterback in and just roll with it. But that's how most NFL coaches do. But having the option to put either quarterback in late in the game when one is not playing well and to win most of those games is such a nice option to have as an NFL coach. It's got to be. I don't know from experience or anything like that, but just to have that has to be nice. You know what I mean? And there's only a couple teams that I can see doing that. I could see maybe Tyrod Taylor coming in for the Chargers and maybe doing something like that, but we haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's such a nice option to have. Two quarterbacks on a team that can come in there and get the dub and that know the offense just the same. And it's just nice, bro. You have a rookie and a vet. Straight up, like a Drake song.
And that's what I said with that.
Go ahead, man.
Choke artist.
Yeah, Jalen said choke artist. And then Justin said late third quarter Fitz came in. He said Marcus Mariota and Tua went to the same high school in Hawaii. Wow, that's impressive. Actually,
Hold up.
research. And then Jalen said Marcus Mariota needs to start.
Yo, Justin's the first person I've ever seen on Twitch have his fucking profile picture up there like that.
Because Justin's that guy, bro.
No,
Justin's
I
that
know.
guy. You want to see it
I
again?
know. Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Oh,
Look
cheese
at
it, bro.
that.
We got our
Yeah,
face
yeah.
on the screen right now, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm ugly though. He's pretty. That's not cool. All right, no, but I want to say one more thing now. So I've been waiting so long for this. So episode 11, right? Episode 11. I wrote this down in my notes. Somebody in chat with the username ITZZTR
I remember that.
is a Raiders fan talking shit. That's exactly what I wrote. A Raiders fan talking shit. Okay. Come back at me when you quote unquote lock a playoff spot. He tried to do a play on word on the Broncos quarterback, and now look where y'all are. Y'all are about to be at home with us chilling.
Tony said he was gonna get your ass too, bro. He really was like, bro. And when he said that, I remember him saying that he's like, man, I can't wait until the Raiders get eliminated. I'm gonna write this in my notes right now, bro.
Hell yeah.
Swear to God, Justin
Hell
was
yeah.
laughing faces, bro. Justin, it was a great year, man. But one thing I will say is Dallas ain't eliminated yet, cuz we still in the fight. Maybe tomorrow, man. We'll see. But man, that's all we got for this week's games. There were some great games. Came down to the wire in some, and some weren't even close. But we had a Christmas game. Alvin Kamara broke some records, 6 touchdowns. Tom Brady clinched a playoff spot for the Buccaneers for the first time since 2007. The Cardinals got their get-back win from losing from Dallas last week, and the Dolphins got their comeback victory with 2 quarterbacks. Do your thing, Miami. I see them going kind of far. I don't see them going, AFC Championship far, but I see them maybe getting to the game before that. You know what I'm saying? Justin said, what an embarrassment to the fan base. I'm not going to get too much into that because we're literally, one of our topics tonight is the Raiders. So we'll go ahead and wait on that. But we do have some discount smoke for that ass, baby. Jalen said Alvin Kamara is the best in the league. Stop playing. Whatever you say, guy. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Has he had a rushing title yet? Let's not go there.
He's got a rushing record, so we can talk about that later.
That's fact. Tony, go ahead and get into it, man. Let me go ahead and read this real quick so the chat knows what this is. We are on Discount Smoke. Discount Smoke is a portion of the Rick T podcast presented and answered by your co-host Tony Cave, where he's given no free smoke, but maybe a little bit of discounted smoke to 3 NFL, NCAA, or NBA players who he thinks are a bust or catch in week whatever it is. So this week is 16. So Tony, what you got this week?
I'm coming for all of the Rams. Every single one of them. We're going to start off first with Cam Akers, who finished the game with 63 yards against the Jets. Okay. Last week before that, this man finished with 171 yards. Okay. He went from 171 against the Patriots to playing against the literal worst team in the NFL and putting up 63 yards. Unacceptable, inconsistent, not the guy to keep. I say get rid of him, honestly. You can't do that against one of the worst, the worst team in the NFL. Second one I'm coming for is the Seattle Seahawks. Mainly Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had 121 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. This man started the year off in the first 3 weeks with us saying he's MVP. No doubt about it. MVP, right?
We did say that.
Everybody was on that train. Everybody was saying Russell Wilson's balling. I think the only person to say that Russell Wilson wasn't going to be MVP was Jay. As much as I hate to admit it, because Jay and I argue a lot on this podcast, Jay was the only one to say Russell Wilson's not going to be MVP. I'm still rocking with Pat Mahomes for another week. That could change. We will see what happens. And then, boys, I need help with my last one. What was my last one?
Oh, Vikings defense.
Thank you.
Six
I was
touch-
like, that got awkward. Why
Yeah,
do
I
we
was
have an
like,
awkward
who was
silence
it? We were
for
just
that?
that?
talking about that shit, and they got smoked too.
I
Yeah,
literally
definitely
asked
Vikings
you.
defense. Vikings defense. Jalen says,
Yeah.
I've been saying Aaron Rodgers for MVP. Jalen, shut up.
He has been saying it. I mean, not that early in the season. I don't think he said that, but
He did start the talk though. I mean,
Yes.
in this podcast, he did. It's probably been
Yes.
floating around, but yeah.
All right. Jay, are you ready for this? This is going to be a good one for you. All right. Alvin Kamara played against the Vikings on Christmas Day. And what a better Christmas present than having less than 200 yards, but 6 touchdowns. Almost 7. Almost 7. Taysom Hill screwed him out of one. They
Yeah.
should have left him in for that one. He would have held the actual record. But 6 touchdowns with 155 yards. How do the Vikings not make a change on their goal line defense? You know it's going to Alvin Kamara. I get one of them went for like 30 yards or something like that in the early game, but the rest of them were inside the red zone, and that's just completely unacceptable. I dropped the Vikings defense today in fantasy if you didn't see.
You're like, get the fuck off my roster.
I was like, I'm playing for last place, but you still don't belong on my team, bro.
Are you really playing for last place right now?
Not last.
I was like,
11th.
no way.
Like 11th. I had a bad draft. to
Shit
be honest with
happens.
you, but
Shit happens.
I'm
You're-
gonna bounce back next year. I've been doing really well in DraftKings for money, like actual money. So
Mm.
we'll see what happens next year when it's for actual money. But
You're
yeah,
right.
the Vikings defense, they need to just realign everything.
Facts. They cooked though. Alvin Kamara, for one, had Christmas cleats on, which he's
Yeah,
probably gonna
red
get
and green
fined for.
ones.
But them shits were so cold, bro. Them shits
Hell
were
yeah.
so hard.
Hell
2,
yeah.
6 touchdowns, cuz 6 touchdowns. Jalen said they didn't expect him to run like that. I did. So how did they not? Justin said, yeah, I threw in the towel as well. And Jalen said, that's what it looked like. He also
They
said
look dumb.
they looked dumb. Hell no, man. But we'll go ahead and get on from Discounted Smoke. Thank you for that, Tony. You had some good ass topics on there. Be back next Saturday for Tony's next Discounted Smoke. But now we're gonna get right into Jello shots, baby. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Oh man, the freestyle. Sitting at my mama's house, sitting at my mama's house, sitting at my mama's house. I'm a mama, M-A-M-A, mama. No, I'm just playing. Let's get right into it, man. Let me go ahead and tell the folks what Jello Shot is. Jello Shot is a 3-part system towards a player, team, or game. Shot 1 is his mystery take. It's a shot Jello takes that he is not very confident in, but could still really happen this week. Shot 2 is his bold take. A shot Jello is going to take that he's 100% confident in. And then shot 3 is his regret take. Jello's biggest, boldest take of the week that could come back and bite him in his ass. So, Jello, go ahead and get right into it, man. What do you got for shot 1?
All right, you already know this is an easy one. Steelers lose this week, and they're going to lose out the rest of this season. No doubt about it. If they couldn't beat the Bengals, if Ryan Finley could throw 89 yards and win this shit,
Tony, check
and
the record.
still win the game,
Check the
Steelers
schedule.
about to
Check the schedule.
let's see.
All right.
Hold on, I just got to see the schedule before I will move on because that's crazy.
So, honestly, that's a good take.
Woo!
Jello, that is a great take. They play the Colts and then the Browns.
Oh fuck!
Yep.
Yeah,
That is a great take, Jello. I like that.
honestly, Jalen
I mean,
says
if they
Steelers
couldn't
are
beat-
ass.
If they couldn't beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow and some other key players at that point, there's no way they can pull it out. I mean, the Steelers already don't have a run game, so they're going to focus Darius Leonard on Roethlisberger's ass all night. So once again, that's how I look at it with the coming weeks at this point. So, I mean, and flying into number 2 on this one, I mean, you could call this bold, but after watching them play this day, I'm going to say the Cardinals missed the playoffs. I think someone's going to roll up here and take the wild card game from them at that point. I mean, with the players they have and how good they were, Murray was out there with the 10 rushing touchdowns, being able to throw, get to people where they need to be at that point, and they've suffered a lot less injuries than anybody else at that point overall.
And that being said, I'm pretty sure all three of us had the Cardinals grabbing that wild card spot the other week when that was the question: who grabs the wild card spot?
Yep.
Yes.
It's tough for me to keep it there. If CJ Beathard could come out here at this point.
So I have a counter question for you, Jello. I know you're in the middle of your segment, and I apologize.
You're good. You're good.
So it looks like, I freaking hate to say this, but it looks like the Bears or the Cowboys would be the only two.
Thank you. And all the Bears got to do is beat the Jags this week. That's an easy dub. And do something I think they can with, as well as Montgomery is rushing. This is why I said this before. You guys hated on what I said, but the Packers have one of the worst rush defenses in the league overall. Montgomery has picked it up like never before. So that's the last game of the season. The Packers already clinched what they needed to at this point, and the Bears are coming for the fight. So I think the Bears pull it off. A lot of people doubted me and hated on me for when I said that, but I look into things before I just throw it out there. So just watch out for it. I mean, the Bears got Jags this week. Khalil Mack's going to make sure Robinson doesn't do shit. So that's an easy one. Move on to the Packers. I think it's going to be a crazier game than people think overall. So I'm ready for it.
That'll be a great one, bro. That was your second shot, right?
2. So coming to this, my big one. I think my boldest take this week is I think the Rams defense is going to look like they never have before. I think they're going to come out firing this week. It's against the Seahawks. It's against a divisional opponent at this point. So I think this is the week. They've been good all year, aside from that Jets game at that point. And I mean, look how many defensive touchdowns they have. I think they lead the league in defensive touchdowns this year. Overall. So I mean, I think they're going to come out here and they're going to hold Wilson to. I'm going to throw under 200 yards, and I think they're going to kill the rush at that point. I mean, losing to the Jets at that point is huge on both ends of the ball. So offense aside, I think the defense can win this game. I think they can take those crucial mistakes by their offense and take it to a whole new level. So, and Seahawks becoming depleted on that run game too. So I think Rams are going to come out here. Their defense is just going to show them what's up. I'm putting Wilson at least 5 sacks this game. I think this is the game to do it. It's what everyone's fighting for right now. So they need it, and I think their defense is going to step up when they need it. So,
okay, what do you got to say, Tony?
I like that take. That is probably the best bold take that you've had on this show, Jello. And here's why. So the Rams and the Seahawks have already played this year. Eric, I think Jello might already know this, but Eric, do you know Russell Wilson's touchdown to interception ratio in that game?
In the Rams Seahawks?
Yeah.
I don't.
0-2.
0 touchdowns to 2 picks?
Yes. With 248 yards. The man had over 200 yards passing and couldn't find the end zone. So, honestly, every take that Jello said this week, I completely agree with. I'm rocking with Jello this week.
So, one thing about that,
let's
man.
Let's go back to that game, actually, because this was the game I got ridiculed because I said Jalen Ramsey would shut down DK, and that's exactly what he did. And now people hating on Jalen because of last week, he's going to come out here firing. He's going to be on DK, no doubt. Lockett hasn't been doing what he needs to, so, I mean, just wait. This is going to be a great fucking game.
Yo, check chat real quick.
He said this. Jalen said this man said Bills and Bears in the Super Bowl. You did say that
Straight
shit
up.
the other week. I was like, what
Just
the
wait.
fuck? So
Just
you guys already know I gotta do what the fuck I do. You said Rams gonna come out here and shut down the Seahawks. And in my take on Wednesday, I had the Rams. But right now, fuck LA, fuck Jalen Ramsey, fuck Jared Goff. I'm swapping my damn pick. DK, Russell Wilson, gonna come out here and goddamn sauce on the goddamn Rams, just like the Jets did, just like Jalen just said, just like Justin just did. Seahawks all day, Seahawks by 22. Hell no, bro. There's no way the Rams come out here and shut down the Seahawks twice, and definitely not DK. Definitely not DK. You can have the vet over the young buck once, but it ain't gonna happen twice. It is not going to happen twice. I'm swapping my fucking pick. The Seahawks come out here and stomp a mud hole in the Rams' head tomorrow. It's going to be ridiculous, man. I'm telling you. Hell yeah, Eric. That's exactly what Jalen just said. We're getting on their fucking head. This over with, bro. You're crazy as hell.
Hang on 1 second. So I put this on, right? I know it says Lakers, but everybody knows the city it represents, right? Jello, I just had a realization that these motherfuckers lost to the Jets. You could kiss my fucking ass.
Let's go!
You can kiss my fucking ass, bro. You can kiss my ass.
Fuck. No, you cannot go with the Rams after a loss to the Jets, bro. You really got to put that in your head and realization and be like, wait, the Seahawks, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett? No, sir. I'm glad you came to your realization, Tony. I was like, please do not, bro. There's no way this happens, bro. I love it. Sorry, Jello. You're gonna get your ass roasted out on Wednesday, bro. It's
just
gonna
wait.
be.
I'm gonna throw that smoke back when the Rams come out here and just. So, I mean, Rams did much better than the Seahawks have this year. So, just wait. I'm calling a pick six in this game, no doubt.
From Jalen Ramsey.
Not Jalen
Ramsey, but someone out there's getting that fucking pick six. That's for sure.
I can't take that bet with the pick six. I need a person. I need a player. That who's gonna get the pick six? Is it gonna be Jalen Ramsey? Is it gonna be Hill? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be on that defensive back? Is it gonna be a linebacker? What's gonna happen?
I'll go Jalen. Wilson's definitely ready to make more riskier throws to DK. So I think, and Ramsey can shut him down. He's done it once. He can do it again. Everybody said the Saints weren't going to beat the Bucs twice this year. Never happened with Brady. It did. It's 2020. It's a different year. Shit's a lot different now. So wait.
I get that, but this is Pete Carroll. This is a Super Bowl winning coach. He's going to make adjustments. He's going to watch film. He's going to talk to Russell Wilson. He's going to make things happen.
Jello. I like Jalen Ramsey, and I truly kind of fuck with the Rams, but it's not going to happen this week.
It will.
Ask me any other week. I had him last week. Look what happened. It's not going to happen this week, man. It's not going to happen this week. Playoffs right around the corner. It's not. No way. And I'm so excited to be on here Wednesday. That'll be one of the first games that we talk about. Oh, my God, I'm so excited. But, man, it'll be deep. Let's move on, bro. It was deep on Jello shot. Thank you, Jello. Those are some great takes. I liked two of them. Didn't like that third one, but we'll go ahead and get right into NFL scratching the surface. Put this on the screen real quick. You guys ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it, man. So NFL scratching the surface. It's really just news. We want to talk about it. Scratch the surface on a couple things going on in the NFL through Week 16 right now. So we'll go ahead and talk about the first one. Playoffs, baby. Postseason aspirations accompanied by Tom Brady's arrival in Tampa Bay, and the plan has come to friction. The Buccaneers clinched their first playoff berth in 2007 following their 47-7 win over the Detroit Lions today. A lopsided affair that saw Tom Brady set the franchise record for touchdown passes in a season. With the Saints having locked up the NFC South a day prior, the Buccaneers, 10-5, have sewn up the NFC's one of the three wild card spots. It's safe to say that they expect to play past the opening week. We are going to be pretty tough out, Bucs coach Bruce Arians said after the game. Bruce Arians, Brady's first season with Tampa and not with New England Patriots has played out with the Buccaneers returning to the playoffs for the first time in more than a decade, while making its 12th straight season, which Tom Brady 12 will play in the postseason. I know at a different time, we haven't played the way we're capable of playing, and when we do play that way we're capable of playing, we're tough to beat, Brady said. Brady's Bucks punched their playoff ticket come less than a week removed from the Patriots having their NFL record playoff streak snapped at 11 years. While Brady's back in the playoffs, this will be the first postseason trip for many of Arians' Buccaneers. A postseason trip that began to take a shape in March has been booked. We've been scratching and clawing every year to try to make this tournament. It's been a journey, said Mike Evans, who was drafted by the Bucks in 2014. He also said, "We're happy that we finally accomplished it, but it's just where it starts." So my question to you boys is, do you think that the Buccaneers are a contender? And no, let me explain.
No.
And I know how both of you feel, but let me explain this.
No.
Let me explain. So I'm not trying to ask if they can beat the Saints. I'm not asking that. I'm asking, do you think they're a contender for the Super Bowl? And I'm not even going to say for the Super Bowl. Do you think they can play in the playoffs? Brady's first season in Tampa Bay. They have AB. They have Mike Evans. They have Chris Godwin. They have Gronk. That defense is playing out of their mind. I do want to tell you guys they got me 16 points today, and you guys are going to say, it was the fucking Lions. You guys are right. You guys are right. You're 100% right. But 16 points is 16 points. Any given Sunday, shit can happen. So my question to you guys is, do you guys think they're a contender? Let me read chat real quick, see what everyone else is saying. Jalen said, hell no, but he's a Saints fan, so we need some different fans in there. Go ahead. Tony, let's hear what you have to say on this one. Do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a contender?
Fuck no. I'm raising it from a hell no to a fuck no. You got me fucked up because the word contender means they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. You know who they have to beat to get to the Super Bowl?
The Saints.
Exactly. So when you said that I'm not talking about them beating the Saints, you really are, because you're talking about a contender for the Super Bowl when the Saints are right there. The Saints are going to the Super Bowl. Hands down.
I really do hope so.
I honestly would love to see it. I would love to see it. I would love to see, you know what my Super Bowl dream is?
Saints.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Tom Brady can kiss my fucking ass. I hate Tom Brady.
You can hate him all you want. I don't like LeBron, but we all know what he is. You walk like a goat, you talk like a goat, you're probably a goat, Tony.
Well, he walks like a goat, talks like a dumbass, and he's probably a dumbass goat. He's a fucking idiot. I hate Tom Brady. I really do. On the field, yes, he's a great player. But no, they are not contenders this year, is my final take. No.
Jalen said, I'm loving tonight, Tony. Boy, speaking facts. Jay, sit your ass down, man. Sit your ass down, cuz. Hell no. Jello, we'll swing this one to you, man. And I know you feel the same way as Tony does on this one. And you hate Tom Brady with a hard, cold passion. But I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this run they're about to make? Do you think they're contenders?
So I'm going to raise Tony and go, hell fucking no. It's not going to happen. I mean, they're not going to make it out of the wild card at this point. I mean, we can say you can't count Brady out, but we can, because this was Brady's best game of the year, and it was against the Lions. He didn't play the second half. I get it. He had almost 400 yards in the first half. Cool. That doesn't mean shit against the teams you're going up against. Even other teams in the wild card at that point. I mean, his seed in that might be a little bit higher, but that doesn't mean anything. He is going to get beat hard. They're coming for his head at this point. I mean, all the way down the line, he hasn't been able to do shit. He's turning into Rivers a little bit. So, I mean, he is a crybaby. It's straight up. I mean,
and hang on, Joe. I'm gonna let you keep finishing, but I'm just gonna add to your argument here. Ready? And this is kind of a low blow at you. I'm sorry, but the Bucks lost to the fucking Rams.
And the Rams
So-
lost to the Jets.
Thank you.
Jesus. Jalen said, J Money time facts. Speaking truth, man. Jello, do you have anything to continue on with that?
Yeah, so I'm just going to throw this out here because this popped up today. This was a big one. Everyone said Antonio Brown helped them win that game. And there's nothing against Antonio. He's getting his touchdowns. But this is what's happening with this team. Brown had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 25 yards, and 1 touchdown. And people are saying he helped win that game. This has been the whole stigma around the Bucs this year. They're finding anything like, oh, this is why we lost. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. Oh, he helped him do this. So many little things where it's literally little things at that point. The Bucs don't have what it takes. It's cool that they made the playoffs for the first time in 13 years at this point, but they do not have what it takes. It's Brady at that point. I mean, he got the receivers he wanted. This was supposed to be his best season ever with overall the best receiving core he's ever had, and he couldn't do shit overall. He's 10-5. I get it. That's a record. Look at who they played to this season. Look what's happened to him already. Getting beat by the same team twice never happened before. So they're out in the wild card. There's no doubt. I'll throw money on it any day of the week. Fuck Brady, by the way.
Tony, do you have anything to say? Because I want to get into this.
Yeah, actually, I want to back Jello up some more. So they lost to the Saints the very first game. Okay.
Which is obvious.
They beat the Panthers. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Chargers. They lost to the Bears. I'm seeing one team that they beat that's actually good, and that's the Packers.
They kind of like the Steelers in a way.
Bro, they lost to the Saints twice, and it just got worse. The first game was 34-23, and Jello, what was the score to the second one?
38-3.
Thank you.
Justin said Saints lost to the Raiders, though, and Chiefs, so anything can happen.
Justin, get out of here with your logic.
So,
Okay, but ooh.
let me get into this, man. First thing first. Leave
Tom Brady's soundtrack after the
my
playoffs.
boy Brady alone, dog. Leave my dog Brady alone. And I don't want to be a Skip Bayless here. I don't want to ride Brady's coattail. But Brady is a proven GOAT. You said it yourself, Jello. This is Brady here we're talking about. Exactly my point. This is Brady here we're talking about. How can you just count him out? How can you count him out? This isn't about the weapons he has. This isn't about the coach he has. This is about Brady. How can you count Brady out? You can't count LeBron out. You can't count them out. You just can't.
Don't start the LeBron debate because he's definitely had some issues in the finals before.
I'm talking GOATs here. You can't. It's the same thing with Drew Brees. He's injured, but you can't count him out. And one thing I do want to say, I'll even pull it up right here. Antonio is back. And I'm not saying back physically on the field, in my opinion, personally. Jalen said Antonio is back. I don't think he's back at the playing level that he was. But I think he's definitely getting back to the mental level he was. Or maybe he's just hiding it very well. I want to eat my words.
How many touchdowns does this guy have? They celebrated this dude. They celebrated him scoring a touchdown.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying his playing is back at the level it was. I'm saying I don't hear him doing any stupid shit in a month span, which is impressive to me, which is very impressive to me. What does that say? Fuck Brady, no cap.
No cap.
Angela, get that shit out of here, cuz. I want to say I'm sorry to AB for saying that he's going to fuck it up.
No,
and he
hasn't
yet.
No.
So I'm going to apologize.
No, you are not allowed.
I am apologizing personally.
You dogged on Antonio Brown for week after week after week after week, bro. No.
I'm not saying I'm riding the AB
train. The guy
train.
has 2 touchdowns this year. 2.
Are you not listening to me? I'm saying his mental capacity is back to normal.
He didn't break probation for once. He's a normal citizen. Let's throw him a fucking party. The fuck, bro? You got me fucked up. Fuck Antonio Brown. He means nothing.
Look, all I'm saying with this is he will be on a team next year I'm gonna eat my words for saying he's not. He won't, because he will be on a team next year if he can keep doing
Yeah,
what
the
he's doing right
Lions.
now. A team's a team, man.
I don't care.
He still lives in Florida. He lives in Tom Brady's basement. He'll
Yeah,
play anywhere.
yeah, still breaking probation from Tom Brady's basement.
Imagine.
Well,
That's maybe why he hasn't yet. But we'll get into that on a different day.
Tom Brady says, "You're grounded. Get your ass downstairs right now."
He's like, "Will you grab me a gram of crack on your way home?" Tom's like, "Yeah." I feel like Tom Brady's about the bad behavior. He seems kind of like a bad boy.
Tom Brady's the cool dad.
No, I don't want to hear anything about cool dad. There's a video a couple years ago of him kissing his sons on the lips like they were females. His son literally is like,
Did
he was like,
kiss Kraft like that too?
yes, Robert Kraft. Him and Robert Kraft were like, but no, there's a
Hey.
video. There's a video of literally his son. He was like, his son was running off, and he's like, "Hey, where you going? Come give me a
What?
kiss." And his son was like,
Yo, hey. So all I want to say, and we're completely against politics on this podcast, but our president-elect does the same thing. So,
"Wow."
All right, I gotta say one thing. Within 1 minute, you went from saying we can't count Brady out to he kisses dudes like he kisses a chick. This got real interesting real fucking quick.
You guys are not gonna flip this on me. That has nothing to do with
you
him being
flipped the script on yourself.
about his play. What
you
is it?
told us, you told us to say this before the podcast. You're like, "Yo, make me look stupid on the podcast," and Jello and I were like, "Okay, word."
Look, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. I'm not gonna let you guys get me hot on this. You guys aren't gonna flip this on me. His play has nothing to do with how weird he is in person. Nothing at all. If he wants to kiss his son and Robert Kraft on the lips with lipstick, that's his business. That's fucking his business. You know, I'm gonna judge the shit out of it on this podcast, but that's fucking his business, cuz.
Yo, this is how rumors start. You just said fucking lipstick. This
Okay,
is how rumors start. in the
Allegedly.
NFL,
Look up the
bro.
video. Look up the fucking video. Look up the video. There's a video of him kissing his son on the lips, but he's
With
the goat
lipstick.
on the field.
With lipstick, apparently.
He's
Fuck out of here. Let's
he's
move
a-
on, bro.
Bill Cosby, man. You watch him on TV and behind the scenes, he's weird. He's
Whatever.
weird.
Move on.
Bro.
Move on.
Tom Brady's the GOAT. Don't count him out. He's going to the finals against the Saints, and we're going to play it
Tom
out.
Brady
I'm gonna
is
toss that one up.
out in the first round of playoffs. That's 10.
We'll go ahead and get it, man. But we'll go ahead and go on to the next one since you guys don't want to talk about Tom Brady kissing his son on the lips. I'm just playing, man. This one's called Christmas Day Pudding. Man, Christmas Day Pudding. Let me go ahead and read this, man. Mike Zimmer knows a good defense. He's been coaching in the NFL for the past 27 years. His recent units have been the backbone of the Vikings teams contending for the NFC North crown and more. His latest, however, is the primary reason why Minnesota was eliminated from playoff contention Friday night with a 52-33 loss to the Saints. Zimmer took further aim at it afterward. This is a bad defense. He said, worst one I've ever had. The proof was in the Christmas Day pudding. New Orleans collected 7 touchdowns, including an NFL record, tying 6 touchdowns from Alvin Kamara, 583 total yards on offense, and 36 first downs. God damn. Minnesota did register 2 turnovers, but no sacks or tackles for loss. The Saints never punted. You have to work pretty hard to give up 52 points, Zimmer said. Couldn't stop the run, couldn't cover well, didn't get any pressure on the quarterback, and couldn't tackle. In turn, the Vikings couldn't win. Their offense did its job, trading scores for 3 quarters to make it a 31-27 contest heading into the final frame, but the Saints kept marching on, adding 3 more rushing touchdowns in the 4th as part of his 264-yard output in the on the ground. The Saints' loss sealed Minnesota's first losing season since 2014 and put the spotlight squarely on its biggest problem in 2020, the defense. The Vikings, who are 6-9, have played nearly the entire seasons without Pro Bowlers Daniel Hunter, Anthony Barr, and a month of December without Pro Bowler Eric Kendricks. We are undermanned, but they should play better than that, Zimmer said. I'm not trying to make excuses. It was definitely embarrassing. It was a performance that was part of a bad year, the proud Vikings coach certainly won't celebrate. And I know we chopped it up on this a little bit earlier. They were on discount smoke. They were on all kinds of shit earlier. But Jello, how do you feel about Mike Zimmer saying this shit about his own defense in an interview? Like, this is the worst defense I've ever had in 27 years. How would you feel as a defensive player or as a player in general playing for him, that he's just shitting on his team like that after just getting eliminated? You know what I mean? And like I said, it was their first losing season since 2014. So it's been 7 years since they've had a losing season. So the question is, how do you feel about him shitting on his defense like that?
I mean, he's being honest, and that's the thing where as a professional player, you're getting paid millions of dollars to do your job. If you don't do your job, someone's gonna say something about it. I mean, there's no sugarcoat at that point. Like, you can't really go out there and be like, oh, we had a chance, we did what I wanted us to do, it just didn't work out. Nah, he told it how the game went. You let Alvin Kamara march in 6 touchdowns. Like, I get you're out Pro Bowlers. There's tons of teams out Pro Bowlers at this point doing more than that. So, I mean, he was honest. So, I mean, as a defensive player, you should take it like you didn't do your job, so this is what you get at that point. You're still getting your paycheck. I mean, at that point, you're still getting paid. But, of course, your coaches are going to be mad with you at this point. They dropped 52 fucking points on you at that point. Like, this is what I've said all year. It doesn't matter how many points your offense scores. If your defense can't keep up, you're going to lose. This is exactly the point of it. Kirk Cousins overall this year has been consistent. The defense has held them back. They still have Harrison Smith back there. They still have some solid players across the line who have done things throughout the season, but blow it when they need it at that point. So, I mean, they got what was coming to them at that point. Shit, people say that about the Broncos every single year, even when we won the Super Bowl at that point. You're a player. You get paid millions of dollars. Take it at that point. We're all grown men here. There's people out there who say much worse. He just said exactly what happened at this point. Because statistically speaking, for Zimmer, this is his worst team overall. When you're not even in a winning season at that point, you can't get putting points there, and your defense is blowing it. So they got what was coming to them. Once again, they catch and flame, no cap.
I feel it. Tony, I'll come to you before I get right into it. How do you feel about Mike Zimmer shitting on his Vikings team, saying in an interview after that they got eliminated from playoffs that this is the worst defense that I've had in 27 years? We can't tackle, we can't cover, we can't get pressure, we can't do anything. How do you feel about him shitting on his team? What would you feel like as a player for his defense, as a player for his team in general, as your head coach is shitting on you like that? And like I said to Jello, they haven't had a losing season since 2014. So it's been 7 years. How do you feel about him shitting on his defense like that?
So I 75% disagree with Jello here. Okay. And here's why. You're allowed to say things like, we didn't play to our full potential. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. We didn't make tackles. We didn't rush the quarterback very well. We didn't do all this. As a coach, you are not allowed to come out and say,
this is a bad defense.
This is the worst defense I've coached.
Defense.
You are not allowed to say that. And here's why. You either lose every single player on your defense or you lose one coach that is very replaceable. Okay? And the reason you don't say this is for the press in just like us. We're having this conversation right now, right? This is a conversation that's going to float around. Your words, when you're famous like that and you're a professional, speak volume. Your words speak just as loud as your actions when you're at the professional level. So I do not agree with what he said. I don't think that's something that he should say to the players in the locker room. Fuck yeah, I agree with that. You can go ahead and fucking bury them in the grave in the locker room. Go ahead, but don't do that in the press.
I feel that, man. I 100% agree with you on that, Tony. Jello, I feel like there's a part as a head coach, especially a head coach, of professionalism that you should have, especially with your own team. After a 27-year span in the NBA or in the NFL, you definitely got to be able to talk to the media without stirring up drama in your own locker room as a head coach. And I think him saying that this is the worst defense that I've had in 27 years, we can't tackle, we can't do anything. I think that's ridiculous to say. You know what I mean? I think it's just a little too far. I don't agree with him saying it after they get eliminated, because he definitely wouldn't have said it if they went any farther. So I just think it's kind of a coward move. And I completely 100% agree with what Tony said about you either lose 52 players on your team or you lose one head coach. And he's very replaceable. There's a lot of head coaches that can do the same thing he can do and probably even better, man. So I don't know, man. I think it's a very childish thing to say. But coaches will be coaches. I do want to mention there's 32 or 31 other head coaches that probably wouldn't say that in front of their own team media. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. There's a consequence that I think should probably come with it, but probably will not come with it. So it'll be deep, bro. Justin said it's week 16. Call them out their socks. Wow. So Justin's agreeing with Jello on this. He said if your playoffs are gone, let the fans who are thinking the defense that sucks isn't alone. The most painful truth: coaches are the best.
Thank you.
Players probably think they are trash too. And if a single player puts 6 TDs up on you, you are trash. Which I'm not saying they aren't trash. Me or Tony aren't saying that they're not trash. It's just the fact that you don't say that with the door open. You say that with the door fucking closed. As a head coach, you say that with the door closed, bro.
You didn't see the Rams defensive coordinator or head coach come out and say, we just lost to an 0-12 team. We are the worst defense in the league. Because if you do that, you lose star caliber players like Jalen Ramsey. He goes somewhere else. He doesn't want to play for a coach like that. Your players, as much of a 2020 soft ass thing this is to say, your players have emotions. And in the NFL, they're not so far as, oh, I'm sad, my coach hates me. It's fuck this guy. I'm gonna go to another team and beat the fuck out of him next year. That's my opinion on it. You don't publicly criticize your players. He might as well have just gone out there and just said something about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins played like shit this whole year.
See, I don't know why we gave him his money. I don't know why we paid him.
Exactly. And he didn't say anything about Kirk Cousins.
Because Kirk
Not a
Cousins,
word.
Kirk Cousins did great this year. Just look at the stats overall. What, 2 bad games out there? A lot of freaking good games too.
So I'm glad you said that. You said he did great this year, right? In previous years, he hasn't. Mike Zimmer's been in the NFL for 27 years. In previous years, he's had bad defenses and hasn't said shit. But now he's going to be like, oh, this fucking defense is shit.
Do we know it's happening at this point? Because this is where you look at it. There's plenty of coaches out there who have said negative things against their own team. Look it up. I can't name off names, but there's no way it hasn't happened at this point. What I was getting at with it at this point, there's no way he just came out here and said it without something he already said to him at this point. So look at it like a parent situation. Your parent behind those closed doors is like, I need you to do this and this. And you say, okay, and you don't do it. And then you don't do it. And they keep doing it that way till it builds up to the point where now you went too far and now it's completely gone, being their playoff hopes. So now he goes to somebody else to bring it up in hopes that maybe next year this will build a fire inside of you. I don't think
one bad season though. One bad season though.
7? Like, no.
That's like you being 27 years old and your mom snaps at you in public and beats your ass. My mom used to beat my ass and my mom used, all the time if I was acting up, but she's damn well not going to do it at 24 years old, bro. Damn well not going to. That's the exact same thing. I get it. It's like a parent trying to teach a kid something and he doesn't get it. But it's 1 out of 27 years. He's never said anything like this before.
And I'm
going to double check into that because I'm hella curious now. Well, I'll get some info for next time because I'm hella curious. Because I feel like if it's said once, it's been said before, even by other coaches at that point. That's how I look at it. I do agree.
Not to the press.
I don't fully disagree with what you're saying.
But it hasn't been said to the press. It's probably been said to the locker room. If he's willing to say it to the press, he's probably in there dogging his players.
One thing that I will say, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, is being frustrated. You know what I mean? Like maybe he was just hella frustrated, but at the same time, like you said, it's just a level of professionalism that you have to show as a head coach. It's the NFL. You're getting paid fucking 30 plus million a year as a coach, bro. Like, and I know the whole purpose of the NFL is to come in here and compete and to win. I don't know, man. It's a toss up. After really thinking about it, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. Justin said they've probably been getting that lecture all season, and he's just letting it be known now. We'll see, man. We'll fucking see, bro. It should be interesting. But let's get right into the next talk. It's definitely the NBA's table talk, baby. You know how we do.
J Squad.
And I'm actually really excited for this NBA's table talk. There's a lot of good little topics on here that I'm interested in hearing you guys' opinion about, because you guys are the NBA fans and you guys let me make the NBA topics this week. So let's get right into it, man. And mine are a little more intense than y'all, so let's see. One thing I do want to bring up right now, man, Big Sean. The Detroit Pistons today announced hip-hop icon and Detroit native Big Sean will become the organization's creative director of innovation. In this role, Big Sean will provide creative counsel and strategic guidance on a variety of Pistons off-the-court innovations, including team merchandise design, in-game experience, co-branded community and social responsibility activation, and more. To kick off the partnership, Big Sean has added his Dawn Life logo to the Pistons practice jersey. Sean is an accomplished artist, philanthropist, and interpreter. Having spent time with him and his family, I know how deeply he cares about the city of Detroit, said Pistons owner Tom Gores. We share a common desire to use the power of sports and entertainment to improve our community and make positive impact on people's lives. I'm excited to see what we can do working together. Central to the partnership, the Pistons and Sean Anderson Foundation will work together to engage our Detroiters through future community activities and programming. The 6-time Grammy nominee will also create music for Pistons in-game entertainment, including halftime performances and DJ playlists. Additionally, Big Sean will participate in creative sessions and Sparhead collaborations with the Pistons design team to launch a custom merchandise line extension. So my question to you guys, and I know both of you guys personally, so I know you guys think this is a cool deal. Would you guys want more teams to do stuff like this with bigger, I'm not going to say specific rap artists, but maybe just different athletes or different famous people around your city, people that represent your city, stuff like that? Would you want to see someone big here from Denver? Well, say Carmelo Anthony retired tomorrow and then wanted a big piece of Denver, wanted something to do with Denver, wanted to do something fucking hella cool with them. You guys wouldn't want him, right?
That's probably the worst person you could have said.
Yeah, not Melo.
I
Oh,
love
that's
Melo.
real
Maybe it's
bad.
just me. I
No,
fucking
but-
love
and
Melo.
no. I mean, I like Melo, but he fucked over Denver. I don't want any opportunity to do with him.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
guys
so
give me an
I think
example.
outside of that,
So my question is give me an example of someone you would want it to do for the Nuggets.
Hobson from Fort Collins. That man grew up in Fort Collins.
I like
He was
Hobson.
he has a song called Fort Collins, right? That is a great person that I would love to have working with the merchandise for us. That'd be awesome. I think it's cool. But my thing is I would rather it not affect the players. I don't want the players to be trying to get involved in this, right? I want the players focused on the court. So if he's going to be working with the upper management, I'm all for it. That's awesome. That's so dope. I mean, the Pistons still suck, but at least they're going to look good.
So let me give it a different example after thinking about it. It's kind of like a Drake situation with Toronto. You know,
Exactly.
he's really into Toronto, but I think Drake's probably more involved with the in-court shit than Big Sean will be with the Pistons. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because Drake be on the sideline drinking and shit. Like,
talking shit, bro. He be
yeah,
talking shit. And same with
LeBron
Kevin
said.
Hart. Kevin Hart with the Sixers is the same way. He'd be on the sideline trying to make the other players laugh. Like that's cool. And like I get it's part of the game and you got to block out the noise and all that. You know, Beats. This episode's not sponsored by Beats. But you know what I mean? Like it's like that's cool, but I don't want to see Big Sean all of a sudden at a Pistons game when he's gone to like probably 6 in his life. You know?
Who, Big Sean?
Yeah.
That's very true. But I do know one thing about Big Sean is he's really involved in Detroit in a whole.
And that's awesome. I love being a part of your hometown and doing all that. But I don't want any players or anything in these upper management meetings, you know?
Yeah.
Because
agree.
I see youthful rappers and artists and comedians trying to get players involved to see what they think when their attention should be on the court.
I agree with that. Justin said give the Nuggets Terry Crews. Is Terry Crews from Denver?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I like Terry Crews, actually.
I think he is from Denver. I don't know, honestly, off the top of my head.
Give him Selena Powell. You guys will love Selena Powell, bro.
All I gotta say, if we're speaking on this, Nuggets were already blessed with Sue Bird in our front office. But I agree with what Tony's saying though. Overall, the hard part is you do have a lot of those big name players there who are in the media for bad things with different players, getting in altercations, getting in those screaming matches, kind of thing. I like Big Sean. I like what he has done overall for Detroit, which I think is a great choice because the community already loves him. I think this as a whole spreading to the league is going to be a huge, huge mess, depending on who gets picked at that point. Because I feel like with getting into this, there's got to be, once again, like you said before, that professionalism behind it. As much as I don't care what that person does at that point, that's how the eyes look. And if it looks bad on one person, it looks bad on everybody. It's just like when a player comes out and says something bad at that point, it looks bad on everybody. But I like the creative design before it. There's a lot of good people. And I mean, there's definitely a lot of rappers who bring that into the NBA is great because it's two worlds that not only I love, but a lot of people do already. So it's something that would be great. And I'm really pumped to see how Big Sean does with all of this. But I think overall it could be a great thing depending on the decisions that are made at that point. Because I like what Tony said. If the players get distracted, that's the last thing a team needs. All it takes is one person putting in too much time doing this or trying to focus on this. They already do their community things already. So that could be something that adds into it where it just takes it over the top and it's just that one day of not going to practice and you forgot this play, doing this and that. So it could be a great thing. It could be a bad thing. We won't know until we see how this progresses with Big Sean. So, I mean, big props to him on it. Big props to the Pistons. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
I agree. I could agree hard with both of you guys. I agree with Tony on the aspect that if this distracts the players, it's going to be a completely different story. But I also agree with you, Jello, that this can be a really huge brand decision for the, Detroit Pistons is not a really big brand in a whole because it's in Detroit. But with Big Sean's help, if he does the right things and the right moves, it can be a huge business move for them and they can make a ton of money off of it, ton of revenue. It'll be crazy. They'll get a ton of more fans. Me personally, I don't really care for the Detroit Pistons, but I'm a little bit more of a fan just from that move being made, from being ballsy enough to sign a rapper as an executive, brand to your brand and stuff like that. Like he said, he already added his rap logo to the practice jersey. I think that's cool shit. You know what I mean? That's just like another Nike logo, in my opinion. I like that a lot.
If the Clippers can have Bumble, he can
Exactly. He's making money off of it. So I think personally, this is going to start a trend for a lot of other high-end names in a lot of other towns and cities and stuff like that who have NBA teams, and maybe not even NBA teams, maybe just a sports team in general. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of singers and artists. I know Jennifer Lopez has a part of the Miami Dolphins ownership. You know what I mean? And she's had that since I was 7. You know what I mean? So, and I know she's still making money off of that. They just got good again. But, being part of an NBA or NFL team or anything like that is going to make you money. And you sort of have, I'm not going to say even sort of, but you want to have that input in the decisions made. You know what I'm saying? You might not have the final decision, but at least you have the option to put your input in. And I like that. I think it's a big move from Big Sean, and I think it's a big move from the Detroit Pistons. Like I said, I think it'll start a trend for a lot of other high end names though. So we'll see as the years and the season goes by and stuff like that. But I definitely think it's going to do something big for the Detroit Pistons. But we'll go ahead and go on to the next one, fellas. Kawhi Leonard. And I know both of you guys are Nuggets fans, so this should be funny. LA Clippers star Kawhi Leonard was forced to leave Friday night's game against the Denver Nuggets after taking a hard elbow to the face and did not return. Leonard sustained the injury late with 6 minutes and 11 seconds left in the fourth quarter when a teammate Serge Ibaka went for a rebound and collided with Leonard. Bleeding from his mouth, Leonard remained on the court for several minutes before leaving on his own. He got up and walked off the floor. He's going to be good, Coach. LA coach Tyronn Lue said after the game. Leonard had a laceration in his mouth and required 8 stitches. Leonard had 21 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals before the injury. The Clippers ended up winning 121-108 against the Denver Nuggets. So my question is to you fellas, I know you guys seen the injury. It was kind of bad. It was definitely from his own teammate. He didn't try to say it was from anyone on Denver. He didn't try to pull that LeBron card, in my opinion. But how do you think that the Clippers and Kawhi will do this year? I'm going to even flip it off the injury. How do you think they're looking? How do you think they're going to do? I'm not a really big Clippers fan. I'm more of a Lakers fan over the Clippers. But I love the way the Clippers are looking, and I love the way Kawhi plays. You know what I mean? And when Paul George is playing at his best, I think he's top 10 player in my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm kind of an old school type of player. But how are you feeling, Jello, about the LA Clippers? And if you have anything to say about this elbow injury, go ahead and shoot that out too.
I mean, they're looking good. Real quick, I'm just gonna put this in perspective of how it's like getting hit by this, basically. Like you have to imagine just how big Serge Ibaka is at that point. Like, as much as people can hate, they're like, oh, he should be able to take an injury. That's a big ass elbow to take to your face at that point. It was his own player. Outside of that, like, just putting, I guess, context how it is taking a hit like that. I've taken 3. I had a tooth knocked out by someone's elbow in a basketball game. So it sucks. We'll just leave it at that. But getting on to the Clippers at that point, I mean, the moves they made this offseason are kind of scaring me now at this point. They are looking fucking good. They do have good coaching in Tyronn Lue. I do like what he's doing, but the big surprise is Paul George at that point. Who knew PG-13 would be dropping 33 and stuff like that, getting those 20-plus point games at that point. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kawhi does the workload thing with no resting games and how people are going to have those injuries at that point for certain games. Because I think the way Paul George is playing, the way they have Ibaka picking up people like Luke Kennard at that point, is taking a workload off of him that I think is going to be the deciding factor in how far they go. Because I did say the Clippers would be in the Western Conference Finals, and I'm confident about it. It's scary. As a Nuggets fan, I mean, we lost last night, but props to them. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, they already beat the Lakers. They already beat us. They already beat 2 out of the top, and they were in the top 3 in the West at that point. So, I mean, they did some right things. We'll just see how long that can go at this point. But so far, so good. But the thing is, if Paul George starts getting inconsistent, that's what can lose them games. So, I mean, it's only 2 games in. It's tough. It's scary so far, but who knows? In a month, I could be saying, "Oh man, they've lost 16 games already. Like, they ain't looking good." Like, it could go either way. It's the NBA. It's 2020. It's a 72-game season. They only dropped off 10. A lot of issues with different players. A lot of rookies picking it up and dropping the ball. So it could go either way. We're seeing a lot of great things from a lot of good players. A lot of guys we didn't think would do much coming out and doing everything. Michael Porter Jr. is our second leading player right now. Who knew that would come up this year overall? So, I mean, it's 2020. That's just how it's going to be. Players are going to drop off. Players are going to pick it up. It's going to be an inconsistent year. As a fan for your team, love your team no matter what. We're 0-2 right now. That doesn't mean we can't be 14-2 in the next stretch. So just give it to the players at this point. They're doing what they need to. So props to them.
I feel it. Tony, swinging it over to you, man. I know you're a die-hard Denver Nuggets fan. You guys knocked the Clippers out in the playoffs last year, and they're 2-0 right now, looking really good, man. So my question to you is, how do you feel about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers and how they're looking? Or how do you feel about that elbow smack to the face, man? How you feeling?
Um, I don't mean to go too dark here, but it's kind of nice knowing that Kawhi Leonard bleeds like every other human being on the earth. That I thought he was superhuman.
Me too.
Uh, I mean, like Joe said, it's scary. It's definitely scary as a Nuggets fan. Um, I'm rocking with my Nuggets no matter what. I'm gonna be watching every game. Catch me at work watching Nuggets games. Everything that I got to do to see every game this year. I don't see Paul George being consistent through the whole year. I really don't. I think he's going to have a great start because he got a nice little paycheck in his pocket. He's going to secure that bag, and then he's going to fall off. I think he falls off about 20, 25 games into the season. I think he's going to have a nice little stretch, but like Jello said, it's a 72-game year for every team. I don't see him being consistent, which is going to be a key for them going deep. Jello said he sees him in the Western Conference Finals. I don't totally disagree, but I partially do. That means that Paul George needs to play very consistent for the whole year. They need to get a good matchup in the first round. They can't get caught up with the Nuggets. Yes, I'm still saying the Nuggets are good. Murray's had a slow start. I get it. We're not talking about them, though. We're talking about the Clippers. I don't see the Clippers getting past the second round, in my opinion. I don't see consistency out of Paul George. I don't see Kawhi Leonard being able to take them like he did the Raptors. When he was on the Raptors, he had great teammates, he had a great fan base, he had Drake, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see him going past the second round of the playoffs, to be honest with you. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
My boy DX Lawn 19, my boy DeLon. Shout out to my boy DeLon. He also says PG is gonna have a good year. We'll see, bro. Like Tony said, he could fall off 25 games in. Jello
We'll find out.
Shit, man. How I'm feeling about the Clippers? Wow. They look good. I'm not a huge basketball enthusiast, anything like that, but from what I see is that team is already clicking. And it's a team that's been playing together for a couple years now. Yes, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of teams that have been playing together for multiple years that don't look that good. Every player on that team has great basketball IQ. They have a coach in Tyronn Lue who has a record. Everyone knows he's coached LeBron. He's coached LeBron's coached him. I was about to say he didn't really coach LeBron. LeBron coached him, but hey, coaching's coaching anyway. You can get it. But that's a team. That's the truth.
Hang on. Breaking news. Sorry, completely off topic. I just saw a tweet from Josh Hart. He got engaged.
Josh Hart from the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Josh Hart, my man, bro. I mean, he's not the best on that team, but he's cold. He's cold.
Yeah.
He's cold. Hey, but whatever. But like I was saying, man, they look really good. They're definitely gonna be a team to fuck with in the West. It's gonna be tough for the Nuggets and the Lakers and you guys to consistently play that team this year. So it'll be definitely an interesting year. I never thought I would say I'm excited for a COVID year, but these sports seasons have been exciting to watch because they've been so different. You know what I mean? They've been so crazy. The injuries, the tradings, the signings, the contracts, the drafts, like it's all just so different that it's so interesting to watch. It gets you excited about it. And by any means, I can probably speak for you guys too. No one likes COVID. No one likes being quarantined. No one likes not being able to go to the games and go out to the bars and watch the games and stuff like that. But man, these seasons are crazy, man. And it comes along with this LA Clippers team, man, and another 2020 quarantine season, man. They look good. So I'm excited to see going forward what this team has to offer and if they can keep this up, including Paul George. I think that, like you said, Jello, that's going to be the ultimate factor on if this team stays good, is if Paul George can stay good. And in my opinion, I think he does. I seen him saying the other day, or it was even when he was in the bubble, that he was saying that bubble had him playing a little off because he was depressed and he was stuck in that bubble for a couple months and stuff like that. And I get it. You know what I mean? I feel like that would drive anybody crazy, but that's no different from LeBron being stuck in the bubble and he won a championship. So like you said, I think this team comes down to whether if Paul George can stay consistent, but in my opinion, I think he's going to. I'm going to go ahead and agree with DeLon. I think he will, man, but it'll be a great year. But it was crazy, bro.
So, and I think just to add on to this real quick, this is the big comparison to me, comparing a team like the Clippers to the Nuggets. I think in the long haul, drafting your team is better than bringing players in. When you look at the Clippers, the only two players on their roster right now that actually play a little more than others that they drafted was Ivica Zubac, and they drafted Kabengele last year, and he doesn't get a lot of playing time. Where you look at a team like the Nuggets, we drafted Jokic, Murray, Harris, Porter Jr., Bol, and a bunch of other guys we have on our team.
Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert.
I mean, true, but Mitchell did boo-boo tonight, so did Gobert, so we're just going to leave it at that. And I think that's the difference maker. It's like getting your friends together and playing somebody's family at that point. That's how I look at it. I think that's what's taken us further overall is the strengths that the whole team knows. I mean, Kawhi and PG came in last year. They did what they did. Everybody knew they were going to be good. But I think they clicked a little bit, but I don't think it's been a ton overall. So,
Chat alert.
Liberty University upsets Coastal in OT. What? Coastal Carolina?
oh shit. Damn.
My boys let them
They got
down.
knocked out.
What the fuck, bro? Let's move on to this next one real quick, man. Jimmy fucking Butler. Jimmy Buckets, man. You guys was talking about him the past. Miami Heat guard Jimmy Butler was ruled out of the remainder of the Christmas Day game against the New Orleans Pelicans after leaving the game early. The five-time All-Star is dealing with a right ankle stiffness. Butler entered the contest as a game-time decision after rolling his ankle during Wednesday's loss to the Magic. He played 16 minutes in the first half, registering 2 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists before exiting the game. Andre Iguodala started the second half in Butler's place. First question is, how do you feel about the boy Iggy starting in his place? Do you think that's a good idea?
Hell yeah.
Second
that
question,
game he had, Iggy, my boy.
do you think that this Heat team is dependent on Jimmy Butler the way that the way I kind of see the Clippers team is dependent on Paul George this season? Do you think that if Jimmy Butler is not healthy, do you think this Miami Heat team is one of the top 2 teams in the East, like you boys were saying?
So, you mind if I start this one off,
right.
Jello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I'm going to relate this to something you said earlier in the podcast. You said it must be nice for Miami's coach to be able to swap quarterbacks like that mid-game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having a replacement for Jimmy Butler being Andre Iguodala is not a bad thing at all. Andre Iguodala could start on half the teams in the NBA. I say half because we have some superstar teams. We have teams that already have a set roster. Half the teams in the NBA would be lucky to have Andre Iguodala. And as far as the Jimmy Butler thing goes, ankle stiffness is a low ankle sprain. It's not a high ankle sprain. It's a low ankle sprain. The motherfucker tripped it on the sidewalk. He's fucking, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, he fucking just got himself pretty good. They want to make sure he's good for in the season. They're going to take this as their opportunity to get around the load management rules. You know what I mean? So they're going to say he has some ankle stiffness. Really, he just rolled his ankle a little bit. It hurts kind of. He could take some Advil and play if he wanted to, but he's not going to. They want to make sure he's good for the season. So to answer your last question, yes and no. Jimmy Butler's a huge part of the Heat. He was a huge part in their run. I think an ankle stiffness thing that he's got going on is not a huge factor. He's going to take a couple games off and he's going to be good to go.
I agree with that. Jello, swinging this one over to you, man. How do you feel about Jimmy Butler being hurt? Do you think he's the Paul George to this Miami Heat team? And how do you feel about Iggy coming in for him and playing that in that spot for him?
I mean, so you got to look at this. The Heat are one of the deepest teams in the league. They still won. Zion Williamson came out, put up 30-plus points on him, did everything he needed to, but the Heat still won. Yes, you got Butler, but let me just list some names here real quick. Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, Avery Bradley, Andre Iguodala, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. This team is deep. They got some vets in as well. They got players who can play, and that's all you need. Iggy came out, was hitting shots like nobody's business. Duncan Robinson dropped 6 threes just in the first half alone. So you got to look at it. You can look at it like the Nuggets being overall that it's not going to be that one player scoring 40 points every game. They might slack off and they're playing more defense and another player's putting up 40 points. It's why Bam Adebayo got that max contract. It's why they picked up people like Hero and stuff like that. When you look at even Hero and Kendrick Nunn last year, spreading the floor as rookies, one game Nunn had 34. Next game, Tyler Hero had 28. That's just how it is. Look at Tyler, what he did, getting them into the finals and stuff. Overall, as a team, Bam Adebayo with the block. Every player has done something to get them where they need to. So Iggy coming in was great, and I love Jimmy Butler, don't get me wrong, but it's not that he's replaceable. It's that they have somebody there who can do the work and do what they need to at that point. They also picked up, was it Precious Akwara in the draft this year, who looked pretty damn good out there in that center position. So that means you can move Bam up. You can move players around. So between the leadership and the young guys they got out there, I think even if Jimmy was out this whole year, I mean, they would still have somebody to play where you look at the Clippers and Paul George, that's a critical piece. They don't really have someone who can replace them full time. So I don't think it would affect the Heat as much as people would think with the talent they have on that team. I'm jealous they have a couple players we don't have. So that's just how it is. But they're deep. They're one of those 5 teams that are so deep that a big injury wouldn't affect them. So, and I want, like Tony said, it's a low ankle sprain. Give it a game or two. It'll be like it never happened. But I think they can still win going on, and I think they will. So
I feel it. You guys hit the nail on the head with that one. I agree with both of you guys. I don't think the Heat should probably be worried about an ankle stiffness. It was like a fractured ankle. Not really necessarily worry, but maybe worry a little bit more than you guys are right now. I don't think the Heat will have a problem. They did lose to who was it on Wednesday? They lost to. I just said it. The Magic. They lost to the Magic.
But that's a redemption Magic team, though. I'm just going to throw this out.
Oh, yeah, they were in the playoffs, weren't they?
The Magic won tonight, too. The Magic are out for blood right now. And that's another solid team. Keep your eye out on Terrence Ross out there for the Magic. This is Aaron Gordon's redemption year. They got Evan Fournier, Vucevic, who's
Terrence Ross is old as
he dropped like
shit.
25 points tonight off the bench, no problem. So.
No, I don't doubt it. He's a great player. I'm just surprised to still be hearing that name in 2020, you know? I'm very surprised because I remember him with the Raptors.
Well,
I remember him being...
Didn't Terrence Ross and DeMar DeRozan get drafted the same year, if I'm not mistaken, to the Raptors?
I want to say Terrence Ross was the year before.
So I would put him at like 10 years so far. It's just weird to see his name. I didn't realize he was on the Magic till I was looking at scores.
Yeah. I put his name with people like Vince Carter. I put him with old heads.
Right.
So that's honestly like that was just me being like, wow, that's cool to hear. He's still involved. He's still doing good. He's still healthy.
It's crazy. They're just those players like Boban Marjanovic at this point. So it's crazy.
I feel it, boys. Well, that was our NBA's table talk for tonight. We'll be back next Saturday with some more deep NBA table talk. Considering the NBA season, this is opening week. There's going to be some talk. There's going to be some shit that's going on. And there's going to be some teams that surprise us in a good and a bad way. So we definitely will be talking about it on the NBA's table talk, man. But right now, we're going to go right into our newest topic, winding down 2020, man. 2020 has been a fucked up year. A lot of shit has happened in the sports world, in the real world. A lot of new shit has been going down. So let me get right into it, man. There's been a lot of fucked up shit that we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So let me read off the topics and then we'll go one by one and go ahead and talk about it, man. So first all, there was the virtual drafts with the S, because it was in the NBA, WNBA, NFL, all that shit. Everything was new. It was all virtual. It was pretty wild, man. The next thing, man, no preseason, whether it was NFL, college football, none of that shit. College football teams had to play their conferences. NFL teams had no preseason, man. It was fucking wild. And they caused a lot of injuries from it, man. So it was definitely new. Another thing, Oakland to Las Vegas, a big travel move, a big destination move. Everyone knew it was coming, but it did happen during COVID-19. And that didn't really help the Raiders at all. So we'll talk about that. The next one is probably the deepest one on our topics. Hurts me the most anyway. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. Lost our man Kobe. Late January, 2 days after my birthday. Honestly, I feel like my birthday sucked. It's like January 25th. I was like in Denver, like drinking, having a good time. January 26th hit. It was like the first COVID case came out, and then January 27th was when the Kobe thing happened, man. So R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. GG. That's a deep one for us, man. That one sucks the most out of all of these topics, bro. But we'll get through it, man. The next one, the bubble. The NBA bubble was definitely new. Definitely showed some shit that we never seen before. Caused some stress on a lot of players. But some players got a ring and some players got a great experience out of it. Me as a Celtics fan, y'all as Nuggets fan, I know we had a great experience from it because of how far we went. No one really expected either team to go that far, so it was definitely cool as fuck. And the last thing on this list was the college extra year. Players in college got an extra year. They could go back to college for free if they choose. Doesn't matter if they're a freshman. Doesn't matter if they're a senior. If you're in college right now playing sports, you will get an extra free year to go back. No, it doesn't fuck with your eligibility, nothing. So if Trevor Lawrence wanted to go back next year, he truly could. So we'll see what the fuck happens, bro. But winding down 2020, Tony, we'll start with you on this, brother. The virtual drafts. How did you feel on the virtual drafts? I personally enjoyed them. I thought it was cool as fuck. I don't know if it was better than the real drafts, but I liked it, man. Tony, how did you feel on the virtual drafts?
I mean, we got some good laughs out of it. We got Roger Goodell's man cave. we got Roger Goodell's man cave. That motherfucker looked like he was in an old ass haunted house in the basement in the library with the lights turned on. So, I mean, it was a cool experience, man, and it's something that we're gonna talk about for a long time. And when people get back to that next draft, man, when there's in people attendance, players can walk up, shake the commissioner's hand. Things are going to get like emotional probably. There's probably going to be some players crying. There's probably going to be some parents crying. There's going to be a lot of tears flowing, and it's going to be emotional for a lot of people. So
I completely agree on that. Jello, virtual drafts, man. How did you feel about them? First time ever that it's all been all virtual. How did you feel about them? Jalen said he did not mind it.
I mean, it was interesting. Wasn't it Ruggs to be the first dude ever drafted in his pajamas at that point? Like, I mean, it's just part of the year at this point. They still made it happen. That's the cool part. I'll take it however they did it. It still happened. We still got to see it. I know it was a lot different for a lot of players overall, but the thing is, they were still able to get drafted, which was super cool. They could have just canceled it all. Like, they could have canceled it. They could have pushed it back. They still did it. We got to see some interesting stuff, especially some coaches in their houses as well. That got pretty interesting. Same with Goodell at that point. So we got to see the insides to these people's lives that you never see before. So, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, but it was
Like you
cool.
said, it was
to
more
make
like
it
a
happen.
personal level. I
Right,
like it.
and I think the biggest thing, I think it's cooler having all these players at home where you really get to see their families' expressions, where you see it a little bit at the draft with the few people that are there. But I think overall, I think it's more fun for the players at that point as well. That's why a lot of players do get drafted at home and don't show up to the building itself. So, I mean, some players were going to do it already, so it still happened. Interesting and cool, so I'll take it.
I like it, man. Next thing, no preseason. Jello, swinging it right back to you, man. How did you feel about the no preseason, man? Not a lot of people liked it. Some people did. Me personally, I think that no preseason actually caused a lot of players to get injured. They didn't get the acclimation to warm their bodies up and game time energy, game time speed, stuff like that, even if it was for 4 quarters over 4 games. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. It's just that game time energy that gets you warmed up. How did you feel about the no preseasons? Do you think it should happen again, or do you think we should definitely bring those back, whether it's quarantine, COVID, no COVID? What's up with you?
I mean, I get why they did it because unlike the NBA where you had the bubble, you knew how that went. With the NFL, you didn't know how it was going to go. A lot more people in a lot more secluded areas. When you look back at the season, there's a lot more cases than when you look at the NBA bubble where there was 0 at that point. So I get why they did it. I didn't like it, especially for a lot of players at that point. Fantasy teams aside at that point, a lot of players suffered a lot of really critical injuries, especially in the running back position. Torn ACLs, hurt hips. And it made it harder for them to work out when you look at teams like the Titans at the beginning of the season that were getting in trouble for doing illegal workouts at that point. So but without having the preseason at that point, a lot of, especially rookies, that's a huge one. When you look at the quarterback class at this point, a lot of players weren't ready for the season to start. They didn't get that opportunity. A lot of players who might have been benched last year were playing this year. They didn't get that opportunity, and one, it either made them look bad to where now they're benched again, or they got hurt, this or that. The play calling wasn't there. Their hard counts were a lot harder. When you look at it as well, no players or no audience at that point. So the no preseason, I think, made it even worse when it came to actually playing because no preseason, you could have got more used to having no people in the stands screaming at you, depending on where you're at that point, which I think made it harder for a lot of defenses and offenses at that point. So I'm not a huge fan. I hope they do it this year. I get the whole sickness thing. If that sets it back, whatever. But for a player's sake and the rookies coming in this next year, I hope they get the opportunity. I hate seeing these kids work their whole lives for something, but because of this, it all gets ruined. You know what I mean? So I hope they get the chance to do it.
I feel it. Tony, swinging it to you, man. No preseason, man. It caused a lot of injuries. A lot of players wanted it. A lot of players didn't want it. A lot of people were mad at it. A lot of people didn't mind it. How do you feel on it?
I think we should have gone with at least 1, probably 2 weeks of preseason. I'm not saying the full 4 weeks. You know, I just think there was too much rush. You rush these athletes that are in here to perform for millions of people, and you rush them to get into peak performance with very, very little time to get into season form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't agree with it, man. I mean, we all know this isn't going to go away by next year, by next season. We all know it, you know?
Yeah.
So I would love to see the NFL implement 1 to 2 weeks.
At least, man. At least give it 1 to 2 weeks, man. I was gonna say 2 to 3, but even if you wanted to knock it down to 1 or 2, at least give them something, bro. You know what I mean? Or like, because I just don't know, man. And this is no excuse, but the way I looked at it at the beginning of the season is Dallas started off 0-3, obvious fucking Lee. But the way I looked at it is like those first 4 games could have been preseason games to get us warmed up, to get us like that team chemistry going, to get that game speed going. Like, and that's just an example of one team that went through it in the first 3 weeks. There's a lot of teams like the 49ers. They lost like their whole starting lineup in the first 4 games. Like their whole fucking Super Bowl team was gone. So, like, what do you do with that? You know what I mean? Those first 4 games could have been preseason games that could have been backup players playing 2 to 3 quarters instead of you guys playing 2 or 4 quarters, hard, full game speed, just coming off of an off season. You know what I mean? And Jalen said they had 3 to 4 weeks to get ready. Bro, that's not the same, Jay. And you know it. You know that's not the same. Being a football player, you know that's not the same, man. You need that acclimation, bro. You need that chemistry. You need all that stuff. So I definitely think they should fucking have a preseason.
There's a reason why in high school they set you up with those summer exhibitions, right?
Yeah, 7-on-7, stuff like that.
Exactly. There's a reason for that. That's not just to make sure you guys remember your routes, and that's not like your coverages. That's not what that's for. Like, as an offensive lineman, I can honestly say, without scrimmages in the summer, I wouldn't have been ready to go head on head with somebody every day, every fucking play, nonstop head to head with somebody.
Great.
I would not be ready. So it's not as much for, say, a kicker who can kick the ball in practice and it'd be the same fucking thing, you know? It's for the people that are giving it their all every play, every down.
I completely agree with that, man. We'll go on to the next one, man. And if Justin, you're watching, I kind of want to hear your opinion on this one. Oakland to Las Vegas during a quarantine. So my thing with this is this stadium has been being built for the last 3 to 4 years, whatever. We've all known they were moving to Vegas. They've been saying their goodbyes, whatever. They did their bye-bye tour. It is what it is. No one knew COVID would hit. But my thing is with COVID hitting, brand new stadium, brand new city, they didn't get the true experience from having the fans in their new stadium and enjoying the new city and stuff like that. They had to stay quarantined in that new city. They had to come to practice, go home. They had to get tested every single day. It's just not the experience that you would want going from Oakland to Las Vegas out of all places. So my question to you fellas, we'll start with you, Tony, on this one. How would you feel as a Raiders player being excited, like, oh, I'm about to get drafted to the Raiders, yada yada. I got traded to the Raiders. I'm a free agent. I'm gonna sign with the Raiders because they're going to Las Vegas. I want that experience, stuff like that, new stadium, new fans, stuff like that, and then they don't get any of it. So how would you feel about it? Do you think it kind of hurt them maybe a little bit? Do you think it kind of kept their identity the same as it was in Oakland, maybe a little bit? Like, what's your Jets on the whole thing?
So it's hard for me to put myself into somebody's shoes that went through an experience like that, you know? I can't even put myself into somebody's shoes when I play NBA 2K and I'm going through the draft process, right? Like, that's not even the same experience. You can't put yourself in someone's shoes like that. That's just out of our reality. That's not a possibility.
Yeah.
As far as not getting the same experience or the same fan base, I don't think this is going to be the same Raiders fan base. I don't think you're going to have Raiders fans to the T all around the stadium in the front row, dressed up, face paint, Viking or not even Raiders gear, like, you know, with the thorns on the
Just
fucking.
not the same old Oakland.
It's not going to be down and dirty Oakland anymore. And honestly, I think throughout the years as a Broncos fan, I might be okay with Raiders fans. Just because they're not down and dirty and ready to fight every person that they see, you know? Like they just have that mentality. In Oakland, it's not going to be the same, man. It's not at all. And Justin, I hope you back me up on this because you know damn well they get down dirtier in Oakland than they do in Vegas.
I could honestly agree on that. Jello, how do you feel? Same question I asked Tony. If you were a player, how would you feel going there in any sort of way, draft, free agent, anything, getting traded, anything like that, to want that experience of a new team, a new fan base, a new stadium, and then not really getting any of it? How would you feel on that? How do you feel on it?
I feel like when you look at it from a player standpoint, I've met many different professional athletes throughout my lifetime. There's still some I see all the time at that point. And what I know from talking to them and meeting people like that, Chauncey Billups being the biggest one out there, and the conversations I've had with him is the experience isn't what's it. A lot of these players are just blessed enough to play in the NFL at that point. So I think the glitz and glamour of Vegas is a backside thing for them at this point. They want to come out here. They want to play. They want to set records. They want to win. Like, to me, I think that's much bigger than getting that experience at that point. And I think that's a huge thing for them at that point. You got to imagine a lot of these guys are 19, 20, 21 years old at that point. So the glitz and glamour might be a big thing, but in the end of it all, they're playing in the NFL. That's what they're there to do. That's the main goal. That's an outside thing for it. So they'll have that opportunity later down the road. Now it's been humbling for everybody this year, not being able to do things. We take a lot of things for granted. And I think being an NFL player is part of that at that point. A lot of things you take for granted. And now they're like, I still get to play in the NFL. I still get to make my money. I still get to do this and that. So I think that's a huge thing at that point. And to go along with what Tony's saying on the whole fan thing, just wait. I only know because I know a bunch of dudes in Oakland and a bunch of dudes in Denver who dress up for Raiders games, who already have season tickets, and when they're able to, are literally going to dress up and drive to the stadium and watch the games every home game they have. So let's go get crazy still on that end. But on the lighter note, yeah, I think glitz and glamour is on the end. They got drafted to the NFL. They get to play. They get to do what they get to do. Get to catch game-winning passes. So that's how it is.
So on a different note, in the chat, Jalen said James Harden dropped 44 points and 17 assists, which is impressive. Get that man out of Houston. Don't care. Justin said, as a Raiders fan, he said, didn't expect the Raiders to be this good. And yeah, the black hole is crazy. I think it helped us, but still sad I can't go to the games. And I feel like Abram, which is their safety, brings that Oakland mentality, which he does. That boy can fucking smack shit and he talks shit. Like he really does. He is that type of player. He definitely is an Oakland player. 150%, man. But let's get on to the next one, bro. Probably my least favorite, bro. Not even gonna front with you.
I was 7 years old when I got my first pair, and I stepped outside, and I was like, Mom, this air bubble right here is gonna make me fly. I hit that court, and when I jumped. I swear I got so high. I touched the net. Mom, I touched the net. This is the best day of my life. Air Maxes were next. That air bubble, that mesh. The smell, the stuffing, the shredded screw. I was so cool. I knew that I couldn't curse. My friends couldn't afford them. 4 stripes on their Adidas. On the court, I wasn't the best. My kicks were like the pros. Yo, stick out my tongue so everyone could see that logo. Nike Air Flight, but bad was so dope. And then my friend Carlos' brother got murdered for his fours. Whoa. See, he just wanted to jump shot, but he wanted to start a cook, though. Didn't want to get caught. From Tennessee Park to O'Mello. You can clown for those pro wings with the Velcro, those were not tight. I was trying to fly without leaving the ground, because I wanted to be like Mike, right? I wanted to be him. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to touch the rim. I wanted to be cool, and I wanted to fit in. I wanted what he had. America, it begins.
I wanna fly, can you take me far away? Give me a star to reach for, tell me what it is, and I'll go so high, I'll go so high. Feet won't touch the ground, just hitch my wings and pull the strings. I'm on these strings, that's all.
We want what we can't have. Commodity makes us want it. So expensive, damn. I just got to flaunt it, got to show 'em. So exclusive, this that new shit. $100 for a pair of shoes. I would never hoop it. Look at me. I'm a cool kid. I'm an individual, yeah, but I'm part of a movement. My movement told me be a consumer, and I consumed it. They told me to just do it. I listened to what that swoosh said. Look at what that swoosh did. See, it consumed my thoughts. Are you stupid? Don't crease them, just leave them in that box. Strangle all these laces, I can barely talk. That's my air bubble in the loss. It pops, we are what we wear what we are. But see, I look inside the mirror, think through like tricks us all. Will I stand for change? Stay in my box. These Nikes know me to learn. I'm trying to take mine off.
Sad as hell, bro. So Jello, we're gonna come to you on this one. Like I said, probably my least favorite topic we're talking about right now. Real shit. Shout out to my boy Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant. R.I.P. Rest in heaven, rest in paradise. Y'all were both the greatest. I still, a whole almost year later, man, at a loss of words, bro. It's still one of the saddest things that's happened to me in my life. Happened to any Kobe fan in their life, bro. He's the GOAT. He's one of my personal favorites. Good Lord, man. He was a great basketball player and an even better man, even better father. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It just sucks, bro. When I heard the news, real shit, I literally heard the news that Kobe Bryant got in a plane crash and passed away, and that he passed with one of his kids, and I instantly was like, it was fucking Gigi, because him and Gigi are always together, bro. They're always playing basketball, all kinds of shit. Saddest shit in my fucking life, bro. I swear that it, like Jalen said, man, it still doesn't feel real. It sucks, bro. Jello, how do you feel about the whole thing? What do you got to say about Kobe?
I mean, this has to be one of the saddest things outside of family matters in my entire life at that point. I mean, he was one of two players when I was growing up that made me want to play basketball. We used to try to lace our shoes up just like Kobe did. We wanted to wear the same things Kobe did. I don't care who you are. Everybody at one point has turned around, did a little fake, did a little jump shot, thrown some into a trash can or a hoop and yell Kobe at one time in your life at that point. You have. I mean, it's huge. As a child, that was our hero at that point. That was the man that when everybody said he couldn't, he could. And even outside of basketball, he made me want to do things and be the best I could, get where I needed to be, do what I needed to do. And he did that through his entire life. And I mean, it really doesn't feel real at that point. It doesn't. I mean, that's using your hero. That's kind of like losing your Superman almost in that aspect. It's just like the person that you look to for everything as a child is gone. And I mean, that is huge. I mean, we always watch Kobe. I've been a Nuggets fan my whole life, but I got to see Kobe play twice, and I will never forget it. As a child, it is the greatest thing I can say I've ever seen in my life, and
I completely agree.
it was humbling. I was at work when it happened, and I just walked outside for a second, and people like will always say to me, "It's just like, why'd you get so upset?" I was like, "That's my hero." And I guess for me, I guess a little personal, I didn't have that father figure. So having a man like Kobe, where you got to see this man completing your dreams and telling you to do your best and stuff like that, it was kind of like that position for me at that point. And that's why it was so big for me, and why losing him was like losing a family member. My entire life, ever since I can remember, I was watching Kobe on TV. I was going to see Kobe in games. All I wanted for Christmas was the new Kobe jersey. All I wanted was something with Kobe's face on it to remind me throughout my day, just like he did, no matter what they say, you can do everything. And like Jay just said, Mamba mentality. And the way he played, the way he was off the court, the way he was as a man was just amazing to me through my childhood and to now. So it still doesn't feel real, and it makes me sad every time. But that's why I keep all my Kobe stuff around, man. It's more of the fact that as a human, as he was as a human, makes me feel better with mistakes I've made and be able to come back from them. So he was more than just a basketball player, way more than just a basketball player. He was a role model. Outside of what bad things might people say, that's a role model. He was a great man, great basketball player, someone to look up to, and he's gone, and we won't have those further moments, and it just makes it incredibly sad. So,
I feel it, man.
I don't think it'll ever feel real. It could be 20 years from now, and I still don't think it'll feel real at that point.
I feel it. Tony, gonna swing this one over to you, brother. I don't know. I know you look up to Kobe hard as hell too, bro. How are you feeling about this whole thing? How do you feel about losing Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi in 2020? Not even to COVID, and just something so horrible. How do you feel about it?
So, first of all, Jello, that was very well said. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up, but I'm gonna try. I mean, man, just like Jello said, man. Growing up as a kid, you always, you found a piece of trash, and you said Kobe, and you made it. Even if you didn't make it, it was still Kobe. You know what I mean? You're not walking around saying Jordan. You're not walking around saying, "Oh, LeBron."
Yeah.
That just doesn't sound right, man. And I remember the day when it happened. I was waking up. I was ready for the Pro Bowl. I was just kind of like feeling things out for the day, getting ready. And I saw something from TMZ, and I was like, nah, no fucking way. It's TMZ. I don't believe it. Then it started getting released more and more into the press, and I was like, no fucking way. And I started to get chills all over my fucking body, man. Just like Jello, man, that was my idol growing up. You know what I mean? Just like Jello said, you went and you got the brand new Kobe shoes. You went and you got the Kobe shorts, the Kobe jersey, everything. And it's just sad, man. Like we had a hero taken from us so quick. And just like that, it was gone. And you can't do anything about it. It's like a family member. It hits deep and you just don't know what to do when it's gone. So I mean, R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi.
Fucking, it sucks, bro. Like you guys said, Kobe was a fucking idol to many fucking people. I'm not even a basketball fan. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. Dead ass, girl dad. Man, I have a fucking 2-year-old daughter
Hold it up,
and
Eric. Hold it up,
and
Eric.
a fucking kid on the way, bro. And if it's gonna be a girl, I'm gonna be a girl dad for sure, bro. If it's a boy, I'm still raise him like Kobe would. You know what I mean? This man Kobe is an inspiration to a lot of people, whether it's us, whether it's fans, whether it's all that shit, man. Losing Kobe along with his daughter, man, it's tough. It's tough enough losing an idol like Kobe, bro, but it's tough enough losing him. It's even more tough losing him with his daughter and with the stuff he was doing and stuff like that. So man, shout out to Kobe, shout out to Gigi. Shit sucks, bro. She said, or Jalen said, Gigi would have changed the WNBA. No cap, bro. Which I low key believe it. She was cold, bro. She was getting real good, hella good, man. But dead ass, R.I.P. Kobe. Let's go on to the next one. He will not be forgotten. Never forgotten. Dead ass.
Especially on this fucking show.
Hell,
You got us all the way fucked up if you don't think at least once a year we're talking about Kobe Bryant.
shit. Once a month. I'm fucking. We'll figure it out though. Dead ass. We're gonna have some Kobe shit. But next topic, Tony. We're gonna swing it to you first. It's one of our last topics of this winding down 2020. The NBA bubble, bro. It was definitely new. It was definitely something no sport has ever done. How are you feeling about the bubble?
I honestly, I don't think they should have left. You know, like
Shit, we can tell us back to the bubble.
yeah, like that was a very well contained environment for players that need to be kept safe. You know, and everybody has this argument, oh, they're just athletes. Well, you know what those athletes are actually? Money. And I hate to say it. Yes, they're people. Yes, they have lives outside of the sports that they play. But it all comes down to money. And at all costs, you save your money. You put a savings account away. That's what the bubble is, the savings account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. We're only 2, maybe 3 games, depending on what team it is into the season. And honestly, if we have one outbreak, send them fucking back to the bubble. Let their families let their families go be in the bubble with them, honestly.
Or shit, come visit or something. Like, damn, give them visiting rights or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't lock them the fuck up from their family and shit like you guys did.
Yeah.
But I understand it for playoffs. It is
Yeah.
what it is with playoffs. But like the whole season, yeah, if you have to be in the bubble, you have to be in the bubble. But shit, just get your shit done, have family visitations, you know, shit like that. But no traveling, going over across the country 3 times a month. You know what I mean? Because that's just more of an outbreak type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, it's really not worth it. I agree with you. I like the bubble a lot, to be real. But Jello, how are you feeling about the bubble, bro?
I mean, it's another big thing. I mean, no positive cases in that bubble scenario. I get it was a lot less teams, but it was still 22 teams overall. So I mean, overall, I think it was a good thing at that point. I mean, we've already had one game postponed this year because of that. So I mean, I get it's a lot more people, but I mean, and they have this schedule set up where they're only traveling this day or that day or whatever, but you're still sending these people all over the place, and it's just asking for trouble at that point. Look at the NFL. They're a big person in that where, I mean, the 49ers had to move to Arizona Stadium because that was getting shut down. You do it in one area, you keep it contained. I get these players are having to be tested a lot. I mean, and I feel for them on that, but this bubble situation was perfect for them at that point. Nobody got sick. It was contained. I get you have to be away from your family, so I don't know that aspect. So as a fan, it was a good thing, but as a player, I don't know what they went through overall, having to be away. I get their families could come in for a little bit, so I don't know what that's like, so I can't say it from their perspective. So it could be an awful thing in the end of things, being away from your family, not being able to do this, not being able to do that. But as a fan standpoint, I liked it because players weren't getting sick. So where this traveling, the Rockets and the Thunder game has already been postponed at that point. So I mean, who knows how that's going to continue going on with these teams traveling around. The Raptors are already down in Florida at this point, so who knows what that's going to mean for stadiums getting shut down if they increase protocols somewhere else. So who knows how it's going to work out or where teams are going to be by the end of the season. So I just wish for their health and safety, man. That's the biggest thing. I mean, there's still people that can still get sick, so I hope that is avoided, most definitely.
I feel it 100%. I kind of agree with you both. I think the bubble should have stayed a thing. It was really safe. I get Jalen. A lot of players didn't get to see their family, but that's why I'm saying just give them like visitation rights. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all that's needed. If this whole Corona stuff continues to be a thing, where NBA players are catching it. You know what I mean? I say give it a chance or two. If anything, if you're gonna not do it in a bubble situation, and like I said in the beginning of these podcasts, I thought the NFL should have took tips from the NBA with the whole bubble thing, which you can't really do in the NFL. But now I'm telling the NBA, if you're gonna do it out of the bubble, take tips from the NFL with the watt or the little COVID band things that they wear. You know what I mean? And it's like if someone tests positive for COVID, they have on their band of everyone that they've been in contact or around in like the last 48 hours. You know what I mean? So like even if you walk past that dude in the hallway, it knows that you were by him and then you got to be quarantined. You know what I mean? So like if that's going to be the case, I think you guys should definitely take advice from the NFL in that matter and go ahead and do something of that sort if you're not going to go back to the bubble like we're saying. You know what I mean? But
I want to crack one joke here.
go ahead.
Jalen, I get that they have families to see and stuff like that. But Jamal Murray went off when he found out that his girl could come if they made it to the Western Conference Finals.
What?
Yeah, he started hoping, bro. He started absolutely hoping. He found out that his sexy ass girl could come fucking kick it. And he was like, it's over. I'm making this shit.
He was not playing with these dudes for real, bro. But we'll move on to the last topic in the winding down 2020 category. The extra college years for players, man. And this one's a little difficult. A lot of people don't know this, but like I said, this year during the COVID 2020 pandemic, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, they gave college athletes an extra year of eligibility that doesn't go towards their eligibility and stuff like that. So you can be a senior, a freshman, whatever. If you're in college playing sports, you get an extra year for free. Doesn't go against your eligibility. So Trevor Lawrence could go back to college next year if he wanted to, and it wouldn't affect him and come out the next year. You know what I mean? It's an option. So my thing is, Jello, how do you feel about that whole thing? And we'll go ahead and put ourselves in Trevor Lawrence's shoes. What would you do if you were him?
So I guess I know why they did it. I mean, a lot of players opted out maybe for health reasons or other reasons for that matter. So I get they added that extra year, but to me, it seems like a lot of the players who opted out were already ready to go into the NFL. So, I mean, I guess players could take that extra year, but to me at that point, well, that could make someone, what, a 6th-year senior at that point if you're at full eligibility, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be a downfall for you as well if you take an extra year and then all of a sudden, maybe your age or whatever, you're not ready for the NFL. So I think a lot of the players took the year off to just work out and prepare themselves for the NFL. And the players that played just wanted to play at that point. So maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, they added an extra year. I get it, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think you might see a couple players, but I don't see any big name players taking the extra year at that point because they still played. A lot of them still played. They did what they needed to. It didn't affect their draft stock. Players that did maybe worked harder to show the NFL that they could get drafted higher. But outside of that, so I mean, I don't understand it overall. Just someone taking that 6th year at that point. I mean, I say just prepare yourself, get ready for the NFL, and go with it. So, but I guess we'll have to see how it all rolls out. So I could be horribly wrong, but who knows?
I feel it.
Once again, it's a whole new thing.
I feel it. Yeah, it's all new, man. So we're going to see how it goes. Tony, how are you feeling about this extra year college players get of eligibility, bro? And if you were Trevor Lawrence, what the fuck would you do?
I love it. Not much to say. That's awesome. They're going to give these kids another chance to prove themselves. That's great. Moving on to the Trevor Lawrence thing. I'm sticking with where I'm at. I'm going to the NFL just because the Jets fucking lost, or the Jets lost the first pick. It's not guaranteed, but he has a better chance to not go to the New York Jets and not have a ruined career. So I love that. I think as a fan of Trevor Lawrence, I'm way more comfortable with him going to the NFL now.
Jalen said, all right, I'll catch y'all. Good show tonight. Appreciate you for tuning in, Jay. See you on Wednesday, brother, or maybe see you on Talk Your Talk tomorrow. We'll go ahead and get into that in a minute. But I completely agree with you on that, Tony. I love it too. I like that 5th or 6th year or whatever the hell you're going to use it for. You know what I mean? I like it. If you're going to use it, use it. If not, whatever, do your thing. It's just help. It can't hurt you. You know what I mean? It's like the teacher telling you to take 2 tests and then being like, I'll take your highest score. Okay, so my lower score doesn't matter. If you're going to take this year, then take it. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. Then don't take it. You know what I mean? Same thing Jello kind of said, like, it's not really worth taking the extra year. Just do your thing, train. I completely understand that. But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to do that, then the extra year doesn't even matter to you. This conversation is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it goes both ways. I really think this conversation is for more the people who are going to take it. Or for more people who kind of opted out this year because they've had that chance. You know what I mean? Because like Jello said, there's a lot of people who opted out. Those people already knew they were going to the NFL. You know what I mean? You don't just opt out because you have an extra year, but then there's that possibility that helped because you have a whole extra year to train and it doesn't hurt you. It's not going to fuck with you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of players that I know as an Oregon fan that opted out. There's a lot of players on Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. A lot of players opted out because they're not stupid. They know they're going to the NFL. Shit like that. You know what I mean? So I like the extra college year. But it's nothing special. You know what I mean? If you're going to take it, then take it. But we'll go ahead and get into the last couple segments, man. Alexander's or Angels, man. Alexander's Angels, boy. Here at the Rick T Podcast, we choose Alexander's Angels. Alexander's Angels is an organization that helps raise awareness and acceptance to people with Down syndrome. We here at the Rick T Podcast are 100% with and fully support Alexander's Angels. Like I said, that's a charity. We picked everybody. We will be dropping a couple links soon, probably in the statuses that we post for the podcast, showing where we donate. We're going to definitely post a couple videos showing how we donate. And then, like I said, once all this quarantine stuff is over, we're going to have Jello get in touch with her, see what we can do to help, and see how we can get involved in the Alexander's Angel community. So, Jello, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, yeah, once again,
Wait. Pass the mic to Jello.
Oh, wait.
So, I mean, once again, we're just waiting to hear back from her. It is Christmas. There's a lot going on. My hopes with this, in the end of it, that we continue forth with this. We're able to go out there. We're able to do live events with them at that point. But I still just want to do good for them. So I put in the email I sent to her a big thing, setting up to where we can get those donations straight to them off their website. I don't want to do any GoFundMes. I don't want to do anything like that that shows that shadow of a doubt where the money's going. So I'm going to double check their website again, but I think they might have something set up now where you can donate off of their website to them, because I want to make sure the money gets to them. So we're not doing these secondhand things for it. We're going to make sure the money's getting to them, getting into the hands of the people who are doing great things with it. You heard what I said last time. I'm not going to get into that again. But, I mean, once again, it's a wonderful charity. Wonderful people, wonderful charity. So let's just keep this going for them. I can't wait to hear back from her. It's the holidays. So I'll be able to share her gratitude. She is a very, very kind woman. The gratitude and what we can do for them. So, I mean, let's do what we can in the place we're at to help others. I mean, some people might not have much, but every cent counts at that point. So, I mean,
Let's get her on the show.
That's what I was planning to say. I'd love to have her.
Get her on the show.
Free one day, bro. I'd love to have her.
That's something we can definitely work out. So I've done video calls with her before when I did my fundraisers in high school, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
She might not be the greatest when it comes to technology, but getting her on here is definitely important because nobody can show the outreach and the support and what she's doing more than she can. So that's going to
Absolutely.
be a big thing there is getting her involved, and just showing people exactly what this fundraiser will be doing and how it will be helping people. And these are some of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. So let's do it, guys. Let's keep this going. Let's get your
Very
friends
well said.
involved. Once again, you help us with these donations, something else will be given to you. You help us help others, and we will take care of you. That's all.
Very
Oh,
well said.
dead ass,
Very
man.
well said.
You got anything to say on that, Tony? Or we hit the head? Or we hit the nail on the head?
I freaking love Jello, man. He be killing it. We're good.
Be saying that, bro. Straight up. But next thing's next. Talk your talk, baby. Talk your fucking talk, baby. Talk Your Talk is a spinoff to the Rick T podcast where myself, Eric, has a little 30-minute phone conversation with a random guest to talk their talk about a team, interest, or life situation. We're going to dig a little deeper on a personal level on Talk Your Talk with fans, friends, or family than we normally would on the Rick T podcast. So start tuning in Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on our Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook platforms to watch, comment, and enjoy our new spinoff podcast, Talk Your Talk. Episode 2 is live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. December 27th. I hope to see you all there, man. Straight up, bro. It's definitely a new segment. We're still getting in it, still getting some touchy shit worked out. But we're gonna get it popping, man. Let's get a little deep, bro. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Talk Your Talk, man. Tune in tomorrow morning. It was a great show. Episode 19. We've been going 8 to 9 weeks strong as hell. Episode 20 is gonna be crazy. We gotta do something crazy for episode 20. First 2-0 number, man. We're gonna get it popping. We're definitely gonna have some special shit for you. And like I said in the status before this show, man, there was a special commenter that's gonna win a free T-shirt tonight. And who caught our attention tonight, boys? Was it Little J6? Was it J Money Time? Was it the lawn? Was it my pops? Who caught your guys' attention?
I'm gonna go ahead and put my vote in first. Sorry, I got my fan going. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going with J Money Time. Justin out of Grand Junction, Colorado, baby.
J Money Time, Jello. Who you got, man?
I got J Money too. Deuce it up. J
Let's
Money.
go.
J Money Time. And I'm also going to vote J Money Time. Thank you for tuning in, brother. That is the podcast manager for a lot of people who don't know, but he is a very loyal fan. He loves his sports. He loves his Raiders. We're going to get more into basketball, but congratulations to J Money Time. Mav up. All we do at CMU is drink.
drink.
You already know. Justin, send me your address, bud. We're going to get that shirt custom made for you. We're going to get it sent up to Grand Junction, have you show the podcast off in a different town, and let's get it popping, man. I appreciate everyone for tuning in to the Rick T podcast, episode 19. It was a banger. Love having you, Jello. Love having you, Tony. It's always a pleasure talking sports with you fellas for a couple hours, man. Tony, you getting on Call of Duty? Me too. My girl's probably slumped right now. Jello, always a pleasure, brother. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Rick T podcast, brother. I'm just playing. I'm still on this bitch. He thought I left. All right, we're gonna ride out, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Tune in Wednesday Wednesday evening, 9:30. We might change the time up a little earlier so most people can tune in on the weekdays. But we'll talk about it. We'll see about it, man. Appreciate you guys. Peace. Hey. Close my eyes and never lose you. First lifetime, wanna get back to you. Late night lights, get back to you. Deja vu. Close my eyes and never lose you. I just gotta let it ride out for a little bit. Late night lights, no push to
I see the pain coming down. I'ma stay stern, and I wanna keep it good. Oh, need you. I'ma come through.